live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of the Mythic Initiative. I am Chris, and I will be your keeper for these preceding evenings. With that, we have a lovely amount of cast members here, so I'll go one by one as we introduce these fine folks and get a feel of what's going on, because it's been a while. First, let's start off with you, C.
Oh my god, hi! It's me, C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at C Plays RPG. It has been a while. The last time that this stream was in black and white, I got my ass kicked. But you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to do the ass kicking. Playing Eden, he uses they, he pronouns, who is the Shade, and is having just like the most normal time. They're having the most normal time of pretty much anyone. You know who else is probably having a normal time? Our incredible guest. Jay.
I wasn't ready. I thought I was going to go last. Hi, everyone. My name is Nala, or Jay. My pronouns are they, them. And tonight I am playing something I can only describe as an enigma, a feeling. You'll find out. But I'm on Twitter at NalaWoo and everywhere else at NalaDraws. Super excited to be here. I don't know who's next. Thank you all for having me. I love being in black and white.
It's gonna be
I'm
Vin.
gonna throw it over to Vin, which is something that I knew from the very beginning.
Don't worry, I got it. Oh my gosh. Hi. Hi everybody. It's me, Vin at VinVoxVA on Twitter. I'm playing Heaven? ? Totally fine, totally okay. The Fallen. You know, we're all fine. The chat's going crazy, not our chat. This chat. Something chat. I'm just gonna throw it to Hamna. Hamna, catch it, please.
Oh my god, I caught it. Hello. I don't know if that was on screen. Who knows? Oh, cool, it was. Awesome. Hello everybody. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me all over social media at LilithTTRPG. But today I will be playing Misfit, who uses he, they pronouns, and Misfit is the summoned. And he is having a terrible baby girl of a time. Speaking of a baby girl lover, I will pass it over to CJ.
Wow, didn't see you there. I caught something. Oh, it did come up on screen. Let's fucking go. Anyway, hi, nice to meet you. I'm CJ, Scholastic Dragon on the fucking internet. They, them pronouns. I don't make very gay, very trans art, but I do make very tragic, very sad shows. Got it. Anyway, I play Vic, who is a little normal these days, the most normal of us. And I love to lie. Anyway, passing it back to our trauma man.
I'm sorry. Can we acknowledge that? Can we acknowledge that for a second?
This is the energy we're coming in with today. With that in mind, some content warnings for this episode to keep in mind, especially with this episode. In particular, contains fantasy violence, apocalypse, gore, blood, familial struggles, body horror, drug abuse, severe weather, romance, and references to sexual entanglements, psychological horror, monsters and monstrosities, references to epidemics and diseases, and trauma. If any of this stuff doesn't float your boat, there is a plethora of wonderful content out there for you to go and enjoy. With all of that in mind, Mythics, are we ready to get back to, well, this mess? Fantastic. That's the energy.
Whoa, what was that?
Yeah, it was. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It sounded like an animal. Like, oh damn, all right.
I said I'm normal. Do you have something you want to fucking say to me right now?
I love you. Anyway, sorry, Chris, go.
No problem. With that, we start immediately off as we find our mythics as you are in an elevator of some gilded kind, and you start to notice the color that was the land of metal, where everything was vibrant hues. The simple strum of a guitar would lead into a various combinations of color, now begins to die away. Not as if it is changing just to change, but rather It is as if the color is afraid of what is coming, as it slowly dissipates until you are once again black and white. For some of you, it's just simply a color change. For others, it's a reminder of a terrible incident. Whether it will be the same way, we shall find out. With that, the elevator shining now in sort of a gray scale begins to doom, 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 bing. As you see on sort of the right side, it says lobby floor. As it begins to open up. You heard a lot of this place, this Hotel Eternity. You've heard primarily scary stories or stories that often would put a maybe chill down your spine, but what you see before you is nothing like that at all. It's still the gray scale, of course, but as you walk, you see the vestige of a lovely, beautiful hotel lobby. That's sort of that grand New York, maybe you're getting a 60s vibe as it has that sort of glowing chandelier. You see the desk is wooden, no attendants at the moment. A lovely kind of lobby area with, furnishings and various paintings of a more regal characteristic. As you see a sign that's in the front of the lobby or like the hotel elevator that says, "Welcome to Hotel Eternity. We'll be with you in a moment. Please take a seat and we shall proceed." As it has like a 60s picture of a little bellboy that's just uppity up and just ready to help you out. With that in mind, what are my mythics doing here as we enter in?
I imagine that the ride up in the elevator was like completely silent. Because Eden, I think, is leaning on the back. There is so much blood just like all around their mouth, like dripping down into their shirt, like all the way down to their navel, really just covered in blood. And they're like working a thumb along the like sharp edge of their jaw. And there's this like look in their eyes, which was very alive, very frenetic, very wild. And the like tears still kind of like pulling at the corners of their eyes, which is slowly, as we get higher and higher and higher, starting to like crystallize and freeze, where they're like drawing back and like coming back together in a way that like you can almost hear sand shifting like against the floor, even though they're not moving. It's like this low, eerie whistle, as I think they're just like working their jaw, and then they like just watch the like dial on the elevator as they're going, and they don't say anything quite yet.
As we go from the vibrancy upstairs to what I would presume to be basically like a washout of color, like if you literally were taking a painting that was still wet and getting rid of all of the color. Vic is kind of looking around, looks at Eden, sees that they are looking bad, and then probably only, not because they're afraid of the silence, but because it's obvious, turns slightly, doesn't look at either of you in the eyes, Misfit and Heaven, and says, oh, we're in black and white again. It must be a Eden episode.
Eden like tears their eyes off of the doors of the elevator, like it looks painful to look away from it.
It's not looking at you.
I would tell you to shut the fuck up, but you're probably right.
For my other two, go ahead.
I think similarly to Eden, Misfit had not said anything this entire elevator ride. He is leaning back against the railing of the elevator on one side, and I think is very nervously like tapping their fingers, like drumming them along this railing over and over and over again, and their eyes are burning holes into Heaven the whole time. He is not able to look away from them, and there is, I think, one hand at one point when Vic speaks up and breaks sort of the silence inside of this elevator. One of Misfit's hands, I think, goes up absentmindedly to the necklace that he is wearing and starts sort of rubbing at it. A reminder of perhaps the only person that he is really sure ever loved him. And they look back and around and they say, Eden, episode, right. I don't suppose that there's anything else that we'll learn today, is there?
If you're afraid of what you might find, you can always stay behind.
I don't think that's really an option.
When have we ever not learned something about each other just because something bad was happening to one of us? Mizzy.
Don't know that I like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what they think they're going to break out of me. There's not really much more to give.
But that means there's still something left to take. So congratulations.
We
Like
all
I said,
know.
if I look like I'm about to explode, just stand back.
Oh, that was disgusting. And I think like at that Heaven's feathers have been bristling and like wings flexing to like get the rest of the moisture out. Because remember, wet chicken, wet rat. And Misfit's gaze is only peeking between these feathers. They kind of like lower, so possibly they can look at him, but for the most part, they're just perturbed and damp.
You guys want me to like dry you off?
Is that
Are
an
you
option?
useful now?
Hold on. Actually, no, I'm not going to lean into that. Fine. And I think there's just like Vic warms the elevator like a space heater, which is not something that she could do before. And she does not acknowledge it. But I think very much like literally in the way of like literally a space heater, I think cracks upon Vic's skin open up very similarly, like the usually when she's opening like the mount or the eyes, but it just goes like directly all the way down the body on both sides that makes it like easy for you both to kind of feel warmth. And I think there's also wind that comes off and just almost like what you'd imagine prestidigitation to be like.
Eden doesn't call you out on it quite yet, but they do pin you with one of the looks, as I think like the blood on their mouth and down their chin is like starting to dry, so it's making those beautiful, like at the bottom of a dry lake bed, those cracks as they're kind of like turning more into like this red dust or this red paint that's now like streaking across their face. They like pin you with the look and then go back to staring at the elevator.
And I think maybe it's during one of those gusts of wind that's kind of coming out, originating from Vic, that the elevator doors open and the wind kind of like pushes out with it. And we finally step out and see sort of the desk and the chandeliers and sort of the grandeur of this hotel. And as we are sort of stepping out into this hallway and taking everything in, I think Misfit, still not really able to tear their gaze away from Heaven, will kind of look around, notice that there is a broom closet in the side of a hallway, and will very gently but firmly with purpose grab Heaven's hand and pull him just a step behind everyone else. Hey, can we talk?
Sure, if you don't mind. This clearly lead the way.
No, not at all. Just for some privacy. And Misfit will lead Heaven into this broom closet. And
Fantastic. So with that, you separate in there. I think I'll start with you first, as Eden and Vic, you kind of get out. And as you all proceed off of the elevator, you notice that immediately after the last person steps off, it closes very rapidly and immediately goes away as it disappears, and what's left before you merges into what looks like to be more of a door rather than an elevator once again, but not something you notice right away. As we cut into this broom closet, which seems to be relatively nicely stocked, and single light bulb that you just, as it's just the two of you.
The light bulb swings between the two of us as we're looking, I think, casting really sharp shadows onto our faces. And Misfit, I think because he had led you, I think you are by the door, Heaven, and Misfit is kind of facing you, so your back is towards the door. And they look at your face, and immediately that very intense stare breaks into something desperate and vulnerable as they are looking at you. And they take a moment where it feels like there is tension in the air that he is trying to wade through, trying to cut through in order to say what it is that he wants to say, and then it just bursts out of his mouth. He says, "You care about me, right?"
That is such a silly question. Are you okay?
Eden, look, you two were talking really loudly in front of everybody, and I couldn't help but overhear the conversation you and Eden were having. And we won't address the words that were used other than just that he was under the impression that you were, how did they put it, stringing me along.
Listen, Misfit, I care about you immensely. And Aiden and I, for better or worse, are siblings. And when they get upset, they say things to hurt one another. It wasn't meant to escalate or hurt you. But I understand that some words can get messy, awful. No, please.
Let me make a request of you. As your devotee, as someone who has dedicated themselves to you. And I think Misfit gets down onto both of his knees in front of you and holds out to hold your hands in theirs. And this shadow, I think, is casting a light down. This light bulb is casting a shadow down onto their face as they look up at you. And it's just their eyes, big and somehow bright and vacuous at the same time as they look at you here. You asked for worship, and I can give you worship. I can, and I want to, and I think that I have, and I will continue to, if that is what you want. I just need one thing in return, and that is your care, your love. I just need you to just reassure me that your love for me is true. That you love me, and only me, and that is real, true, honest.
And Heaven's hands just bypass Misfits altogether in like serpentine coils and cradles his face instead. And it's just looking down at them. Oh, Misfit. I think I see it now. I think I see why he loves you. I can't hurt either of you, but I can help you.
I don't understand.
You don't have to, but I promise. I think it would be better for all of us if I take some accountability, which I always demand of Eden, and try to make this better. And he also, not necessarily with the space of the closet, also kneels, but just bends and kisses the top of his forehead.
It is not the place of a worshiper to question their god. So,
I'm not your god.
angel, prophet, whatever you want to call it. It is not my place to ask. Simply to request. And if whatever you think is best, have it.
I think I know what to do. And again, I'm so sorry.
And not sorry, go.
No, good. No, good.
Not knowing what it is exactly that Heaven is apologizing for, because the words that he's using are vague and promising all at once. And I think in this moment of desperation and loneliness and paranoia, Misfit is looking for literally anything to cling on to, anything to hold on to. And so not really understanding what it is that Heaven is apologizing for, just nods, not quite reassured, but a step closer to it, and will wait for Heaven's lead.
Muted.
I think just to fight their own guilt and feelings that are now like acid eating away at them, they just shake their head and leave.
And I think there's a moment that after Heaven leaves, we see this light bulb still swinging, and we see Misfit on their knees in front of this door that I assume Heaven closed behind them. And Misfit is just looking onto it, the light going by, casting shadows on his face, and he's searching. It's the same look that Misfit gives to Eden, or has given to Eden over and over and over again, searching for the truth, searching for a true. And they are looking where Heaven was just moments ago, searching for it and not finding it, before eventually getting up, exiting the broom closet, and returning to reconvene with the rest of the Mythics.
I think as that sort of feeling of motions going through Aussie does help.
I was just going to ask a mechanical question, which is, can I get darkness tokens for asking someone to love me and only ever me?
Can I also get some darkness tokens for feeling others are beneath me?
Can I take away their darkness tokens for watching what a crime that happened?
You didn't see this happen, believe me.
I know.
No, I think CJ means that themselves as a player.
Me as CJ.
But
you can't get darkness tokens, but you can get help. Please, God.
Don't be like them, folks. But Assi's kind of comforting you. You know, they're just talking some miscellaneous, nothing to get into. But as you do close the door, none of you really notice it. But as you sort of shut the door, you see there are still shadows there that are sort of hunched over, looking before they whisper into the walls. And as that conversation was going inside here, what is it about Vicious and Eden? What are you doing? As these two are kind of talking, you are kind of in the lobby area, kind of near the front desk. So what are you guys doing in it while they're talking?
Yeah. I think there's a moment. I think there's like a 1, 2, 3 moment. Like 1, the elevator turns into a door. And Vic kind of looks at that. And the 2 is that, like, using that as the first thing, Vic follows those two, sees them like go off down a hall, and just kind of like acknowledges that and is like, none of my business. And the 3 is, all right, I'll let you ask about my thing if you let me ask about yours.
I thought we were going to pretend that we don't know what's going on here and not ask either of us any questions about anything at all. And Eden is taking a second to look at everything, right? They're like looking here, looking here, looking here, like giving every single thing in this room like a once-over, the way that they do this like very clinical, very cold calculation of everything happening in the room. Their eyes land on the supply closet door for 3 seconds instead of just one, where it's 1, 2, 3 before moving on. But they, the hard, impassible Eden face, of course, as they, like, I think go to, like, pat their mother's jacket again. And they just go, fuck, I fucking lost my notebook.
You seem like you need a distraction, so I'm willing to divulge one Q&A. But I'll go first.
How generous of you.
I know. So what's up with the and then kind of like, I think Vic kind of like reaches like to your head, turns you towards them, opens your mouth. All right, I will amend what I'm about to say. What was up with the snake tongue, Eden?
And Eden kind of like fights you for a minute, right? And then like pulls their tongue back in their mouth. Are you asking for the truth? Or are you asking for me to bullshit you long enough for them to get back?
It's a Q&A, so the truth would be far more interesting.
I traded it for a little bit of magic.
That sounds very like you. Okay, not a whole lot of... Honestly, I don't have a lot of follow-ups with that. What did you do? What was the magic?
And they still, when you like ask what was the magic, right? And that sound, the sand sound persists for a moment still. The dome, when your house collapsed. I didn't get your sister in time. So I traded my tongue, a pawn for a pawn, and it turns out that I did get her in time. Just a couple moves across the board, exchanging pieces, and look, now I'm fine. Everything's okay, and I'm fine.
And there's a moment where Vic's like left, I think Vic's sitting to the right of you, their left arm goes upon your shoulder. And there's like a tightness in that like grip of that left hand. And, it's very similar to all of the times in which Vic has exploded or punched you in the face or literally went and hit a villain like last season. And you think something's about to happen, and then you feel movement of you coming towards Vic, and it's a hug.
Eden blinks and their like shoulders are like fretted together. And then in the next breath they relax.
Eden, I would be something much worse right now if you hadn't done that. So thank you. I didn't know that I needed my sister back until the moment showed up. So, thanks for that. And I guess thanks for being a little mean over the last couple of hours, because I'm presuming those two things were related.
And Eden just kind of nods. They haven't like looked up at you. Their forehead is like pressed into like your collarbone, I think. And they're just like kind of sitting in your arms. Yeah. I think both of us would be a lot worse off if we didn't have our sisters.
And I think Vic like pulls you, unless you like stay there. I don't know how like the actual emotional state Eden is in. So I think Vic, if Eden doesn't want to move, Vic won't take you off. But Vic begins to tell you, and so you don't have to ask unless you feel like having 2 questions. I found out that Vicious was back, so if the heat is anything to show, then, well, that's what I'm dealing with.
Do you want them to be back? And I think Eden is like still, like they haven't moved out of your arms still, right? Like they're still just there. And this like, kind of like heavy, like a dying star, right? Like where they're both like infinitely light and infinitely heavy. Do you want Vicious to be back?
I don't know anymore. Vicious is a lot of things. Vicious was the only thing that was there for me when we all split up, but it was also the thing that kept me angry, volatile, worse, and sometimes better. So I don't know. But I know I'm different now than I was, so I'm not as scared as I might have been last year, but I sure am not excited.
And I think it's at that point that Eden very suddenly kind of like pulls back, but like holds on to you a little bit. And there's like now this intensity in their face. Vicious was never bad. Vicious was a monster, just like I am. Just like Misfit is, just like Heaven is, just like everyone we fucking meet is. We're all monsters. And we hurt each other. And we kick the shit out of each other, and you punch me so hard that I can still feel it when it rains sometimes. Did you know that?
Well, I don't have a lot of alive victims, so yeah.
And I wouldn't trade you for the world. I would not trade a world with you out of it, vicious or not. It's not worth it.
Okay. Yeah. I think Vic looks you in the eyes.
And they
Whatever
finally
we're about
look
to
you
walk
back.
into, let me know if you need something. If you need me to do something similar or something different that won't make me lose my tongue, do not be afraid to lean on us. Well, at least me. I don't know what they're doing in their goddamn broom closet.
Please don't talk about it. I don't want to think about it at all.
That's fair. That's fine. Back to the distractions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vicious.
And I think in this instance, we need a roll for something, Eden.
We do.
We do.
Oh, God.
Can you please
Man
roll
in the mirror.
devil's advocate for me, please?
Fuck you,
I forgot about
Chris.
that. No.
Man.
Hey, welcome back, baby.
Trauma man, leave me alone. All right.
I'm back at it
am I gonna
again.
spend darkness tokens on this?
Ah.
No, I'm not. Oh. Oh. A 12.
Ow.
I rolled double sixes.
Yike! All right.
You get a flashback
Woo.
to a moment where your mentor expressed their disappointment. Choose from one of the above, but you must prove your worth. And you choose either report back information on your fellow monster to sate their appetite, or you bargain with the Harbinger within you to get a +1 ruin. The other one, it was a +1 bond as well. So you get something from the top there, and then only one, and then you have to do one of those below. As you begin to
see.
hear the phone ring behind the desk.
And in the way that Eden does sometimes, like it's an immediate different track that their mind is on at this point. And they go to they go to answer the phone like they've answered it 1 million times in their life before. And I am going to choose They taught you the cruel patterns of the apocalypse. Declare an irrevocable truth about the mystery. Rewrite or add a facet of the mystery that reflects this truth. And I'm also going to choose from the bottom. You bargain with the harbinger within you to gain power, or mark one ruin. And the irrevocable truth that I'm going to declare about this mystery is that Eden has been here before, has always been here, has maybe never even left here before. This is more like coming home than it is like discovering a new place.
I think it's fantastic, as I'm assuming you're reaching the phone.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of reach towards it, it's almost like a flashback in your mind a little bit, as you feel this place almost like echoes or ghosts full of people, and you see a smaller version of yourself running through the halls. But it doesn't make sense because you've never been here before, and you try to remember, where did you grow up? And you can't remember for the life of you. But as that swirls to your mind and pick up the phone, you hear the voice of someone on the end, but not anyone you know. This is a new voice, but still familiar, but still distinct enough. As you hear, hello, hello, hello. Anyone on the other line?
Speaking.
Well, Eden, this is a surprise.
Is it? It must be a surprise for me, too. Can I ask who's calling?
Well, if you're one and only man in the mirror, calling direct from a hotel room in this place. I'm surprised you found my little hovel.
Weren't you expecting me to find it? And this is an
Not
interesting way
really.
to contact me. You've never done this before.
Oh, consider this a kindness. Now, listen closely, because I don't have a lot of time. You're gonna need to run as fast as your little feet and your friends can carry you to the East Wing, because something is coming for you, and it's coming fast.
What do I owe you for the warning?
Ooh, we'll talk about it when you get to my room. Now, be careful for the line snaps. And as it's kind of like waiting, you notice almost like wet paint, something hit your forehead. Do you look up?
Yes. Eden, like, puts the phone down and then tilts their head upward to look.
It is in this instance, both Misfit and Heaven, you come out and you see what is happening. All of you do. As it starts almost like a trickle of paint hitting your head, you touch it, and you can see it is almost like that of dark red blood. Before it begins to rain, and you see the vestige of this beautiful lobby begin to fade, as it is not some hotel of wonder or splendor, but it is a living hell. As you notice black goo begin to sort of formate along the walls, you see various dead bodies almost littered across the place, and you can see what sounds like a raging storm outside as the once quiet, quaint lobby becomes loud in nature. The floorboards are rotten and almost damp, if like a ship was wrecked in a place for too long, and you notice this place is not what you think it is, as all of it begins to drip and begins to subside.
Eden takes 1 second and then shouts, "Run! Run as fast as you fucking can and do not fucking stop!" And they take off down the hall.
Fantastic. For my curiosity's sake, who's the last person here that would be kind of in the back of the group? Fantastic, Misfit. As you hear, we need to run as fast as we can, you immediately feel something grab your foot. You notice it's almost like a statue kind of at the moment, as it's kind of holding it. Are you going to look down, or are you just going to kind of shimmy your way out of it?
No, I think Misfit is shocked enough to look down and check what it is that's grabbing their foot.
With that, as you look down, you can see almost like into the floorboard itself a face of a screaming guest. They're almost like zombified a little bit with glowing eyes as they're in the cardboard before you see they slowly manifest in a rapid pace and grab them to your face and their face as they just as their jaw just unhinges. I will give you an opportunity here for you to do something before it gets its chance to have its way with you.
And I think Misfit's instincts kick in and he goes, Aussie! And I think calls for Aussie to help and using the suit in a way that I don't think Misfit has ever used the suit before, is going to functionally, instinctually manifest the emotional amplification powers that the suit allows for and kind of almost like a burst of like nuclear energy, try and push this zombie statue whatever it is away from them.
Unleash the dark for me, please.
Okay.
As the rest of you begin to beat feet, as it were.
Okay, let me do that really quickly. Okay. I'm gonna spend one darkness token in order to make this happen. Roll. What did I roll? That should be a 9.
9. So you just get right. So that's a success. So with that, you choose 2. Get past their defenses and inflict a condition. Avoid appraisal or a harm or cost. Gain the upper hand for now. Expose a weakness or flaw. Confuse them for some time. And that's kind of what we have there. So out of those, which ones are we?
If I get to pick 2, then I would like to, 1, avoid reprisals, harm, or cost. I would like to avoid Misfit getting hurt by this creature grabbing him. And then 2, if I can, I'd like to expose a weakness or flaw, through the maybe contact with Misfit's like magic, energy, emotions, whatever it is, that perhaps some information comes to light.
With that, you almost like the energy unibeam out your chest as you see that it particularly dodges out the way and cowers a little bit towards the light, but that kind of dissipates very quickly as it's more of a blast. With that, you also start to notice almost like inside the walls themselves, creatures are beginning to as it's more guests contorting their bodies as you all proceed to run down this east wing. With that, I am assuming we're all running towards the east wing. You have to orientate yourself for a bit of like, okay, where is it? You can see there's a map, various places and whatnot, but I think since Eden, you're the first one to one, you're able to see, okay, gotta go this way. As you begin to lead in this. Is there anything we're specifically doing in this instance to try to help, or are we all just booking it as fast as we can?
I think Eden sees like Misfit getting grabbed in the back, and I think like they like are over their shoulder, and I think they pause, like point Vic in the direction that they're supposed to go, like east wing down that way, right? And they like pause, wait, and I think if it's okay with you, Vin, there's like a moment where they make eye contact with Heaven as they go by, or there's like this like moment. They don't say anything, but they just like give you a like the way that you can ask your sibling like 10,000 questions with a single look, where they're like, what was that? Or like, we'll talk later. What was that? What are you doing? But there's no time for that because we're supposed to be running for our lives. And then like Eden waits for 2 more beats, sees Misfit like explode outward, and then like waits another second until he's like up and running, makes eye contact with him, and then turns and starts running right in front of him. That's all. Normal stuff.
Yeah, fantastic.
Prolonged eye contact.
As you're kind of waiting, right that, everybody kind of comes up. You see Mythic kind of catches up with you. As you do, you're still in sort of like that, going up the stairs, kind of 2 hallways. You begin to hear a voice you haven't heard in quite some time. As you hear, Well, is this not lovely, my dear? Why, quite yes, my dear. I would have never thought to see them again. As you see a contorted version of almost like two people sewn in together, as you see they're sort of a large, hulking mass as each step. The two heads of one Lucio and Clara Alfonso, the same beings that invaded your mind almost a year ago, as you see they're kind of in unison. Well, it's been quite some time. How you been, Eden?
I'm gonna respond to that by shooting them in the face.
Unleash your dark for me, please.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god. Okay. 8.
8. Still, you barely make it. So same choice
Barely
for you.
make
Choose
it.
2. Either get past the defenses, inflict a condition, get what you want from them, avoid harm reprisal, gaining the upper hand, expose a weakness, or confuse them. So you get to choose 2 of these.
I would like to get past their defenses and inflict a condition. The condition being they get hurt a lot. And I would like to get what I want from them, which is also that they are in a lot of pain. My desire here is to inflict as much retribution and pain as I possibly can.
With that, you as your pieces begin to scatter the wall, and as you do, you just see a smile from the both of them, as they do get a condition, but a condition of savory, as they haven't had a challenge or a good meal in quite some time, as they kind of, oh, it's been such a pleasure to see you again, as you see something burst out the door behind them, as almost like an ocean wave of bodies of these creatures bumping into each other, rushing down the hall as it's coming straight for all of you. So are you gonna start running, or are you gonna stand your ground there?
Yeah, Eden's not gonna run yet. They're gonna have to get dragged away. They're gonna have to get dragged away.
They're cool, do the dragging.
Phenomenal.
They fight you a little bit. They try to elbow you in the side.
Yeah.
And start cursing
I
you
think
out
there's
a little bit.
Beautiful moment of season 1, Vic is like, oh my god, fuck this, and picks you up and starts flying.
Fantastic. As you're all running, I want to say, Heaven, since you were kind of running with no problems, you see this elevator coming towards you. And with that, as you do, you see another door bust open as you see another river. All of you kind of get to the same point, and you can see that on both sides, there's no way in, there's no ways out, as these creatures are coming towards you. And in that sort of moment, as you all prepare yourselves to fight a lot of things, you start to notice time begins to boom, boom, boom. As you see one of the creatures, or the closest to you, jump before it pauses. It's strange. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if it's another trick. But all you know in this instant is that the world goes silent and still as something else comes from beyond.
You feel nothing. But then, the brush of a cool wind against your face, a gentle caress of your cheek, then you hear a soft, melodic tinkling. Wind chimes, each tone a delicate whisper. You swear you can hear your name. Heaven, Vic, Misfit, Eden. Travel with me to the edge of your beginnings. Take my hand and don't let go. Wait. They aren't alone. I feel there are others watching, listening, from a different world it seems, but not without its own horrors. You. I can feel your presence too, watching me. How is it that you can hear me, Please don't be scared. I know you care about these four. I'm not here to hurt them, I promise. I am everything and everyone. I am empty and I am nothing. Heaven, Vic, Misfit, Eden, you feel a hand slip into your own. You look around and it's like the world has ground to a halt. Your companions beside, each frozen in time. You glance back, and in front of each of you, barely visible, a ripple in the fabric of your universe, a fluttering, and a reflection. You see yourself alone. But are you? The following moments shall each be experienced simultaneously. They will only hear their own, yet because you have but one conscious timeline, you will hear me address them one by one by one by one. Vic, you see yourself alone. Your tattoo, it's beautiful. You feel it glow warm, and in your reflection you see the iris begin to glow a brilliant orange. Light pours out into the empty space beside you. You blink, and suddenly you see a very familiar face. Frank. His face breaks into a wide smile. Hey friend, I haven't seen you in like a while. Next time you're in town, let's have another picnic. How's that sound? Heaven. You see yourself alone. Shattering the silence, you hear a distant rumble, a high-pitched ringing. Then, as if you were underwater, you hear what sounds like a muffled explosion. You swear you can feel the heat from the blast upon your face. But you are safe. You feel a hand on your shoulder and you turn. Nothing. Alone. But are you? You turn back and your right eye is glowing a brilliant blue. You feel a warmth and a familiar presence. And then, in your ear, the voice of Naomi. Listen, I tried my best for you. She and the glow of your eye fade away. Misfit, you see yourself alone. You feel weightless, as if you were suspended underwater. You blink, and suddenly you are in a very familiar place. Or at least it seems that way. Everything is blurry, out of focus. But in your gut, you know where you are. It's a familiar, hellish warmth in your chest, on your chest. Your necklace is glowing. A flash of silver rings, and before you stands the hazy image of your father, his brow furrowed in an expression you know all too well. Have you thought about what I said? A burst of chromatic sand interrupts him. Tear. You know what, father? Fuck you! Iblis's shadowy form flickers and then fades away. Tear turns to you. You can't quite make out his face, but you can feel him smiling. You know, I've always looked up to you. Everything I ever did was for you. Miss you. He fades away. Silence again. But then, birdsong, a warm spring breeze, and suddenly, clarity. You stand in a wooded clearing, barefoot in soft moss, dappled sunlight painting the forest floor. A woman, only slightly taller than you, stands before you. You can't quite make out her face. After all, you were quite young when she passed. But you feel the warmth from your necklace intensify as she takes a step closer. Habibi, my love, my light, I've missed you so much. I Please. Please help me. I can't remember. But I'm here for you. I'm here. She touches your chest and fades away back into your necklace. Eden, welcome home. You see yourself alone, kind of. In your peripheral vision, you can sense your twin's presence, but when you turn to look, Heaven isn't there. You turn back and instinctively reach up to rub your left eye, and when you draw your hand away, your iris glows golden, and your hands, the wrinkles etched into your palms, they glow too like cracks in your very facade, and suddenly there are tiny glowing lights like stars suspended around you, and you too feel a very familiar presence. Jax. You can almost make out their silhouette amongst these twinkling lights. You feel him cup your cheek. My morning star, I'm so glad you're safe. Truly, I have no regrets at all about any of it. Their voice is cut off. You feel grounded once again, and the sounds of monsters approaching slowly grows louder, as if the world was stretching, yawning, returning to life. Vic, Heaven, Misfit, Eden, you are not alone. You never were. You have each other. You have me. I will see you soon. Now, get to the elevator. And you are suddenly plunged back into the world.
As the elevator forms right behind you, this light pushes you up with air. As you all are pushed into it, the creatures collide into each other, and before they're able to sort of reconvene, strategize, the doors immediately close as the elevator begins to go up. As you see the creatures try to put their hands in, but they immediately get cut off as it immediately finishes off the floor. As some freaky stuff just happened. What is going through your minds as revelation has just been foretold about you, and this elevator is going up to a floor?
Who is that?
I don't know.
You all heard them too, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I saw Frank. That was pretty cool.
It is an interesting note that none of you saw Frank. You each saw your own person. So when they mention Frank, it's like, well, I didn't see that.
It was my father, and then Tyr, and then my mother.
Oh, you got 3 people.
Well, aren't we lucky? I saw Naomi.
I would
I
rather
know.
I'd rather see 3 people.
Me too.
Eden kind of like rubs at the side of their jaw. He's trying to tell me something. Jax is trying to tell me something. They're trying to tell me something. Space is trying to tell me something.
In that instance, bing! The doors slowly begin to open up. As you guys find yourself on another floor. But you notice, Eden, immediately as you kind of looking down, you can see there is angelic runes and a physical barrier that you know you'll be able to cross through, but you notice it's a protection against aberration and necrotic energies, as this is kind of a place that's almost in a sense of a safe floor.
Eden looks at it and then looks at Vic, Heaven, and Misfit and is like, yeah, no, that's all. And they're gonna reach out again, just kind of like working on complete instinct here, and like try to reach into the runes and start to shift them around to like add a clause, an angelic clause to permit the entry if possible.
With ease, not too complicated, and you're not under pressure at the moment. Psychologically, yes. Physically, no. As it's a simple of like entering in a password. As you are now, and all of you, able to walk in, but as you are messing with that, you notice one of the doors open and two individuals come out, almost like they're ready to fight. The first one is weird. It's your father, but you see that their hair is a little bit messier. You can see they have sort of weirdly a shadowy energy about them and more milky, dull-like eyes, as they have a suit that is ripped in nature, but still covering them where it can be. The other one, you also know, as you see, it is a figure donned in the armor of the Brotherhood of Yala, your past bosses, more angelic in nature, as you see the very familiar, almost like porcelain-esque mask with the sort of silver armor that's a little bit dull due to the color, but you see Sister Luna, which in reality you know to be Thule. As you see the two of them are ready to fight before the individual that looks more like your father goes, "Well, it's about time. Now, if you do mind, can you come in before you piss them off again?"
Dad?
It's a long story, but again, if you can get inside before the elevator closes, and then you go downstairs again.
Above table, do I recognize my mother?
No, because they have a mask, so it's almost like a sense of
Cool.
like helm. So it's
Just
just like,
asking.
you don't know yet. Only Eden knows this because they were trained by the lovely
Cool, cool,
sister.
cool, cool, cool.
I also have a question. I wouldn't
Yes.
remember what our parents looked like because of the
Nope,
whole.
you
Okay,
don't.
okay, this is great for me.
That's fucked up.
All
You
of-
just hear Eden go, Dad?
Yeah, yeah. We all
Yeah, you
heard
just
that,
hear
right?
Eden go dad.
Yeah.
All of you just hear Eden go dad, and then they're still. Like they're very, very still.
Are we still in the? Are we in an elevator? Or are we like
You're in the
out?
elevator, but you do
Yeah.
notice it's gonna start
Yeah, I
closing.
push
It's
everyone out. I just like, because I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to go back wherever I hear him. I recognize everyone just said dad, but very wisely, I would like to be on the safe floor. So Vic is just like, nope, come on, let's see the traumaing outside the door.
With that, it's you feel an energy, still grayscale, but you feel it kind of go over you like a light that's in this area. As you can see, it's very much like barricades, just like furniture that's pumped out there to act as barriers. You see there's other traps there that Sister Luna begins to sort of, with their hand, deactivate, that are kind of the equivalent of celestial landmines in case anybody makes their way in. You can see this area is secured, but they're sort of letting you guys through as they sort of sheath their sword and kind of go, "Well, I'm going to go back and check if we find something else." And you see they look towards you, Eden, heretic, before they walk into the main room that they're staying in.
Whoa. I think there's a moment where, because you said Sister Zula?
Sister Luna.
Luna. There we go. There's so many names. You
Yes.
said she's like readjusting like the scripts.
Yes, they're readjusting everything, making sure
Yeah.
everything's more, in terms of like, we got to put this back on when they walk past.
Yeah, I think there's a moment where like she's doing this, and Eden, outside of the trauma, would notice this. Vic like points to one of the scripts and like almost as if she can read it, and goes, "That one is misplaced. You should like fix that."
It's hard to get an expression because it's a mask, but you see almost the brooding from it as they kind of go over, smack the wall as you see it fixes itself before
Yeah.
they enter back in.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
there's like a computer log of things that Eden needs to do. And at like number 44 is ask Vic why she can read angelic script. Like that's like
No,
item number
100%.
44 on the list. But it gets logged. It like goes into Eden's brain and sits there. But I think like there's a moment where, again, like they get shoved through and they're still just like looking at their father, the memory of him, that they destroyed him. They killed him the last time that they were face to face. And they suddenly feel like they're 8 years old again. And I think almost on habitual childlike instinct, because they have not done this since they were a child, they reached their hand out backward for heaven. Like when they were kids and they used to walk around holding hands together, Eden would always like reach backward to look for heaven.
And they take it, but their grip is trembling. They're so confused and scared, and they don't know what to verbalize first.
And I think you see, for like the first time, Eden looks the same way. They have no idea what to say. Like they don't have their book. They don't have their shitty comeback. They don't have a cutting remark. They don't have any venom to spit outward. They're just young again. They're just standing in front of their father who they wrote out of the world with their magic, who's suddenly here again. And then like a light flickering in their peripheral vision, they pivot to Misfit. And there is this like kind of really open, the most open look that they have given you since everything. And I think there's a moment where they like reach toward you and then pull their hand away, remembering, don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. And it like it comes out and then comes right back. And they draw their hand down and I need to tell you something.
What is it? And I think Misfit is very tentative and hesitant in this interaction because I think they noticed that you like reached out for them and then drew back, and almost instinctively he had like gone to reciprocate and had similarly, I think, drawn back in the memory of it, in the everything of it. And assuming that this is about your father, given that you just said that, I think Misfit is like very delicately stepping in the situation, thinking that you're about to just tell them something about your family.
That's your mother.
And I think Misfit like first goes to look at your dad, goes, well, of course not that, and then goes to look at Sister Luna, and then looks back at you. Are you sure?
Yes. True.
How do you know?
I've been working on this for a really long time. That's her.
I was told that she might be here. Didn't know what I expected. Your dad?
Yep. I was also told he might be here.
I thought that he...
Doesn't matter. I just thought you should know. And they like pivot away. Like there was some kind of emotive thing bubbling up, but they like eat it before it comes out of their mouth, and they like physically turn away from you because they know that they will just keep going if they have to look at you more.
Okay.
And I think to counter, if I may, having tightens his grip, Eden, don't do this.
Don't do what? What am I not supposed to do? And they like kind of like turn inward to your...
We don't have time for this. If there's something you have to say, to Misfoot. Say it.
Maybe later. Maybe now's not the time. I mean, you two have, and Misfit just kind of like very small gesture towards your father so that he doesn't notice. You have someone to talk to, both of you do, and I have, I suppose, my mother to talk to. So maybe after.
Maybe after.
Fine, after, but it will happen.
And Eden
As you
starts
wish.
to.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, that's all happening because it has nothing to do with Vic. Vic has walked up to dear old dad, and is like grabbed his hand in the way that you do
Vic.
when you meet
Vic.
someone and you're like, nice to meet you, sir. Hi, I'm Vicious. You may not know me. I hear that you're dad.
That's funny. I think we should all get into the hotel room because I have a lot to explain, and I think this little mood shift party of yours is gonna die once you know what's going on. So why don't you just come inside?
Right before they go in, Eden heeds Heaven's words and turns to Misfit one more time. I hope it's everything you wanted. And there's no venom behind it. There's no bite. There's no snake. It's just fruit. An apple on the tree. And then they turn and follow their dad into a hotel room in the most fucked up place in the world, I guess.
Fantastic. You entered into the room, and it looks like a stereotypical, hotel room. Again, more of a 60s, 70s vibe, but you can see it is probably about half decayed, as against the windows beating across it is like that of a hurricane winds. As you can see what looks like to be some sort of beach that would have been nice to go to, but now is almost like a hurricane that's riling up sand and winds blowing all over the place. You can see that your father takes one of the couches that are in kind of the living room area of this, gets a seat. You see Sister Luna or Thule, however you want to identify them, look out the window in almost a brooding nature, almost like if they're scouting for anything that may try to attack them from the sea or air. And you see him pull out, looking in his pockets for a cigarette that he finds sort of like half burned, puts it in his mouth and snaps his finger as how he fire. All right, I'm gonna get this out the way so we can skip the pleasantries. I'm not your father. Rather, as you see, he opens up his chest and you can see what looks like to be a glowing heart, more of a purplish nature and glass-like, and almost, more like glass that's protruding out of his chest, similar to like Edie. I'm your father's heart, and you probably know me as Manny. So it's a pleasure to meet all of you, in person, in flesh, however you wish to take that as it is. I can see your face.
Somebody should talk first before me. I need to get my bearings.
Are you sure that's...
So you're not Eden's Heaven's
How is
dad.
the heart alive if the person
Eden's
isn't?
alive? And
It's
Eden
a
was
great
definitely
question.
dead.
I mean, this is my knowledge, yes. I am the sort of vice or co-manager of the hotel, so I've been that ever since Eden over here decided to blow up dear old dad.
And you didn't think that was fucking important to tell me? How many
Devil's-
times have I sought you out? How many times have we talked?
I'm sorry,
never
you
took-
know each other?
Not really. Sort of.
Oh, that's a lie, okay? We might as well be honest with your friends here. As you see, he points to a mirror. You see a reflection of his face in it. I've been talking with him this whole time, and just to shits and giggles to protect my identity, I've been choosing various forms. As you see, it turns into Naomi, and sometimes some of you, as it turns into Misfoot before changing back into himself. So yeah, I've been doing that.
Yeah, and while you were doing that, again, you didn't think it was important to mention any of this to me.
It didn't seem like it. I was just helping you out. You know, I know it's what your father would have wanted.
Oh, God. Really do sound like Naomi.
You'd be fucking surprised. And what about all of the things that I've been helping you with? Am I finally getting my retribution now?
Well, funny you say that. So your heart's in the hotel as well, so, you know, it's a win-win for everyone. But there's a little bit of a caveat. You see he puts out his cigarette. You made it to Hotel Eternity, which is fantastic, as you can get vengeance now on your heart for, you know, killing you. I know you're feeling that way. But also, you're on a bit of a timer. See, you entered into a place of in between death and life, right? Usually beings that are here are already dead. You're not. So you are slowly turning into ethereal souls. Now, if you spend enough time in here, you'll be permanent guests, and I very much doubt that you want to stay here for days upon days upon days. But when you came in here, you opened up the exit, which is fantastic because we've kind of been trapped in here. So all we got to do is get to the manager's office in the most safest and quickest way possible. You get revenge on ED, and then you get to leave. It's a win-win in everyone's book.
Does that mean you get to leave too?
Oh, that's what I'm hoping for. I really don't want to stay here. This place sucks.
Is that a good idea?
Oh, believe me, I'll be fine.
No. Level with me. Like, are you gonna... Shh. I know you're a biased party, but be honest with me. Are you gonna fuck us over if we let you out?
If I wanted to fuck you over, I would have shot you the minute you entered the hotel. I would have not gave your little friend here a warning to run like hell, which I'm very glad you took that to heart. I wouldn't go out of my way to protect you as much as I have if I was just gonna kill you in the end. That's fucking stupid.
Well, yeah, because we're letting you out. I mean, like, long-term, you know, villain planning and all that bullshit.
No, I'm not a long-term kind of guy, believe me. I kind of just breeze by.
And what exactly are you going to do when we let you out with my father's heart?
I'm going to live my life the way I want it. I'm not going to run this stupid hotel anymore, I tell you that. Or a hotel in general. I'm going to stay away from all that. And plus, the sister over here also wants to escape. They got stuck in here looking for Jack's soul, and that was the whole thing.
Looking for Jax's soul? Did you just say?
Yeah, the big silver armor clad over there can tell you more about it. I don't know much.
How long have you been here? And Misfit is asking Sister Luna.
You see, they kind of turn to you. I've been here since the incident in San Arcana, when the heretic decided to get one of our own killed, hence why they were excommunicated. But sadly, since Jax died in foreign soil, his soul didn't go to the right place. So thank you again, you miserable little rat.
Good to see you again, Sister Luna.
And I think Misfit looks at Eden at the word again, and kind of gives him a look, but recognizes that now is not the time or place to ask about that, and just kind of pivots back to Luna. And Chris, do I recognize the voice? Because I have heard my mother's voice multiple times now. You know, I've heard it through the necklace, the recordings. I've heard it through now that vision that this mysterious voice showed me. So do I recognize the voice? Is it the same?
For sure, but it is not as gentle as it usually is. It is harsh. It is that of someone who serves for a higher purpose. It is more religious in nature, maybe in a similar way of how someone of a pious nature, who really more like a paladin kind of speak. But also, it sounds like someone who takes orders and fulfills them, no matter how bad they may be.
And I think I remember back to the other sister that I spoke to at a Gehenna Academy, who had warned me that my mother had been brainwashed or, something of that kind, and does not remember herself anymore. And I think that clicks for them in this moment, and they hear that disconnect, that strange veneer over his mother's voice, and something stirs inside of their heart. And I think Aussie can feel it most strongly. There's an emotion kind of roiling inside of him, something that he hasn't felt for quite some time now, and there's an urgency that comes with it. And Misfit just kind of turns to Eden and says, "This is, I guess, your space. What do we need to do to get out of here, all of us?"
We need to make a deal. Because you are not leaving the hotel with that intact. I will grant you safe passage through it and out of it. But you will give me my father's heart back.
No, that means I die. I'm not giving you the heart back.
There are plenty of souls here with hearts you can take. Why that one?
Take who? I got my own soul. This is, I don't know if you know how it works, but, I am, the way it works, your father made me from his heart. It's something eldritch beings can do from time to time if they need assistance. But, yeah, I'm my own person. I'm not gonna just shape up into a heart for you to do nothing. He's dead, gone, so I don't know what you're gonna do. No, that's out of question. And plus, we're not making a deal. I have no bargaining power here.
Then I suppose you'll be along for the ride until you're no longer useful.
Fantastic. Now, it's up to you now, kiddo, because I don't know how to get to the manager's office. Sadly, I don't have access to that. Only someone of the manager's blood, aka your dad, can get into the office. Kind of a safe lock, if you will. And I can't because I'm not technically his blood. So either you or Heaven, betting more towards you because you're a little bit more, familiar with these things. I guess tune in your surroundings?
That's it. For the last 6 fucking months, I've been doing your bidding down on Earth, and now your only advice for me is to feel it out.
Hey, I only have so much wisdom, kid. Not a freaking library.
Fine. And Eden turns to Heaven, I think. Will you help me?
Sure. After we kill it.
Here and now or later?
Does he have any worth now? He told us
at
what
least
to
a
do.
little. He's not telling us everything. He never does.
Fine.
Sorry to butt in. Are you talking about killing me, like, right now? Right now?
Else my sister persuade me much faster. Remember who's giving you this opportunity, no?
Yeah, and just remember who's got a bodyguard, as he points to Sister Luna, who, at the mere mention of kill him, immediately is like, you're not killing my ticket out of here. As you see, they prepare just in case you decide to try something.
I think Vic is like squaring up with sister. Like, oh, let's go, sister.
Taller than you, so
that's
it's
hot.
you.
Misfit
yeah.
will, I think, step in between Vic and Sister Luna, just and Vic doesn't know, but I think Misfit just puts a hand onto Vic's chest and just gives her a look like, don't.
She keeps throwing around names.
She's not.
Tall lady
She's
here
not
needs to come
herself.
down to my height.
She's not
Little
herself.
siphon, what are you gonna do? Burn me?
Oh,
And-
it's like
Can we
flying up, and I'm
please?
like Misfit is pulling him down.
Can we please? And I think Misfit looks pleadingly at Vic and then at Sister Luna and then back at Vic. Just cooperate for some time. The name calling isn't helpful, sister, if you don't mind.
And I think as that's going on, I think I need Eden to please roll me grasp keys for me. As you're about to hear something, but I want to see what you roll for us before we get into that.
Oof. I need to remember that I can spend darkness on this. That was a 6.
6. You find more than what you were ready for. You can choose to mark a ruin to uncover a key, if you will.
Yep.
Fantastic.
That's 3 ruins so far for this game. This session already.
Let's
Keep going, baby. Let's go.
With that, you hear wind chimes as that light comes back once more.
You see in the corner of the room something begin to glow from the darkness. First one, and then many. These lights seem to twinkle and dance towards you, Eden. And slowly they form the silhouette, and eventually it looks like a glowing manifestation of Jax. And Jax stands there and kind of looks around as if he himself has just been brought back into their body. And then they look up and make eye contact with you. And he just beckons with a hand. And you hear him speak, but it's not like the vision that you had earlier. There are different sounds in this hotel, creaks of the floorboards, wind whistling in from who knows where, that form the speech as Jack says, "Come on, follow me. I will show you the way." And without waiting for a response, this glowing form begins walking.
And I think Eden's still holding on to Heaven's hand. Like, as Misfit and Vic and Sister Luna are like battling it out, I think Eden just kind of like starts drifting like a ghost after this figure, right? And like as their attention turns on it, I think it becomes clear that like everyone realizes that it's there, right? And Eden just is like following it like a bloodhound. Like they are so intent on following it, this like empty echo connecting them.
And I think as your attention begins like zeroing in, I think the rest of you start seeing very faint glowing outline form. And as you all begin focusing in on it as well, sort of with a like, what the hell is this? It begins to become clearer to each of you as well. And Jax is walking, I believe, out
Indeed.
of this room.
And I think to speed this for expediency's sake here, as you kind of all follow suit, it enters into a room that you, Eden, immediately remember. It has been in the back of your mind for forever, but now entering in, this place is your old room. And you see behind in a corner a shattered piece of glass, a memory waiting to be opened. Do you open it?
Yes.
And as you approach this, Jax's form kind of walks right over it. And this whole time, as Jax is leading you to this room, he's kind of phasing through walls, like he's not really there. And as you see this piece on the ground, Jax's form almost hovers over it. He looks down, he looks back up at you, and just gives you the slightest nod and dissipates into thousands of tiny lights that all inside this piece. And the light is gone.
And soon, a memory starts to play as all of you fade, leaving only this spirit to guide you, and of course your keeper to narrate. As you pull back the shattered glass, what lies before you is an image. It is not that of a dark beach covered in shadows and rain, but rather a bright day on a beach full of chromatic sand and colorful skies that hold the very stars themselves. As you step forward into this memory, you begin to feel the warmth of the sun combined with the sounds and smell of the astral sea that surrounds this little island of paradise. You hear the distant sounds of construction as you see the hotel in its early stages being built piece by piece, without any physical workers there. The pieces seem to be fitting themselves into place and are sawing, hacking, hammering, and sliding into place to produce exquisite rooms of divine beauty. While it is an impressive sight, something else catches your eye. Your focus shifts as you see a younger version of your father in his late 20s, wearing a loose white button-up shirt and sort of light pants, as he's making up sculpture. The sculpture seems to be an exact copy of himself, as he's kind of doing each groove and indentation to reflect his best attempt to copy his distinct features. As he wipes the sand off from his hands and slowly gets up, he begins to utter strange incantations under his breath. In response, the sand begins to move around and spiral around the sculpture as tentacles begin to wipe off the sand. Instead of it just falling to the ground as something would happen, in actuality, it gives way to skin, which slowly begins to form an exact copy of your father that now lies before him. Well, aren't you a remarkable sight? Do you know what you are?
Not really. I just know that I'm a part of you, but I lack purpose and direction. Do you know why I was made?
I do indeed. You are my heart, and you were made to help me build this little piece of paradise. I charge you with the most important task of all. I, James West, son of Tulak, entrust you to oversee the survival, preservation, and perfection of this Hotel of Eternity and all its guests.
I understand, but I feel like I'm still missing something, but I can't tell what it is.
Yes, we call it a name. I think we shall call you Manny. A fine name, if I do say so myself. James gets closer to his heart counterpart, and he gives a firm but confirming pat on the shoulder. As the two look out towards the hotel, something strange begins to form in the sky. In a flash, the clouds begin to rage as blue fire circles at the tips of the once clear skies, and soon a ball of raging blue fire begins to hurl through the island and crash near Manny's and James' location.
What was that?
I don't know, but go in the hotel until I can deal with this unwelcome visitor. James instantly morphs with the sand as it travels into the thick of the jungle and moves stealthily in between the shades of the tropical foliage before he comes to the site of the impact. The surrounding area is still raging with blue fires, and pieces of bark are littered across the crater. But what he sees before him does not worry him or even put fear in his heart, but rather it makes it flutter. The individual rising from the ashes is a slightly taller, scarred feminine figure with dark blue skin and cropped hair that is accompanied by elf ears. They also wear a combination of silver armor with a punk rock aesthetic, as they are both confused and angry. Before James gets a chance to react, they accidentally step on a twig, which snaps as this figure hears it immediately, and hurls their way towards James at an incredibly fast speed, as they have a silver blade at his throat.
Who are you, demon, and where am I?
Damon, I have you know, I am a powerful eldritch being and deserve a little bit more respect than being called a demon.
She pushes the sword closer. I won't ask again who you are.
Well, pleasure and well met, my fair lady. My name is James, and I am the co-owner of Hotel Eternity. You are fortunate enough to be in the realm of Tulok, the Dream Eater, aka my father.
Great.
The tired warrior sheaths their sword and proceeds to walk in a random direction, leaving James in a state of fear, confusion, and affection that you can see is hard for him to comprehend. But nevertheless, he catches up with the warrior as fast as he can. So, what is your name?
None of your business, squire.
Well, none of your business, squire. Care to tell me where you are headed?
I have to return home, so I'm walking in a direction and hoping to find the sea of this place and leave.
About that. As the two reach the beach, Esmeralda soon sees the true extent of their issue at hand. The seas that surround the island are expansive as far as the eye can see, as it is the Sea of Dreaming, which is not so easily navigated. James soon holds his tongue as he can see Esmeralda's face full of confusion and rage as they hurl their sword into the sea in anger and get down on their knees in despair. I'm sorry. The dream realm is quite complex, and I am doubtful you will ever find your way back to wherever it is you call home.
God damn it!
Look, you seem tired, and it's going to be night and too cold out here for you soon. Why don't you, come over to the hotel? I can fix you up something to eat. How does that sound?
Why would you do that for someone who just burned your island to the ground and who just mere moments ago threatened to kill you?
I'm a hotel manager. Fires and mythical threats from angelic beauties falling from the sky is just another Tuesday for me.
Fine. I'll stay the night, but not a day more. I need to find a way off this ridiculous island, and fast.
Well, madam, allow me to invite you to Hotel Eternity. We are delighted to have you as our first guest. Now, follow me this way, as the vacation of a lifetime is about to begin. As the two walk away, the dream begins to pull back into a montage of memories showing the romance that blossoms from these two unlikely planar beings. Their relationship shifts and molds like the sea themselves as these broken hearts become whole again. As the memory slowly fades back, leaving only you four after witnessing that. And as you are coming back ever so slowly, you start to notice a door slowly open up from the side of your room as stairs begin to go down.
Huh. Right.
Silence.
And I think
You
as
were
they're
muted, CJ. Did you say anything? Oh, never mind. You didn't go. Go, you didn't go.
after taking all of that in. I think as Eden is going down the stairs now, like still kind of like being led by this memory, they turn to Heaven and they go, do you remember anything about them?
I don't remember anything.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. You were a child. We were both children.
I know, but I wish you could,
I'm glad I
It's-
don't remember. Because if I did, I would be furious. And I'd rather not be.
have you ever thought that maybe fury is a good thing to feel sometimes, Heaven? That maybe you should feel things more?
Not all the time. Not forever. Not constantly.
Not constantly. So how do you turn it off?
It is, if you try.
I've hollowed myself out. Trying. I've lost my heart more than once. I've lost my magic more than once. Lost my family more than once. Lost my love more than once. I keep trying to empty myself out. But maybe that's where I'm going wrong, Heaven. Maybe that's why I keep failing. It's because I keep trying to empty myself out when that's... Is that what they would have wanted? For us to make ourselves smaller, quieter.
You say that in the past tense, like your family isn't here, like your love isn't here.
How many more times do I keep trying to empty myself out and keep losing you all over and over again? I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore.
Then stop emptying yourself, Eden, and be full. Be full of love. Be full of something other than rage. I know, don't counter with something snarky. I know you.
They swallow the snark back down. I need both, Heaven. I need both. I need love and I need rage, I think. I need both parts of my heart. Not just the one. And I think you do too.
I never lost mine. It's been thrown, beaten, torn apart, but it's still in my chest.
Haven't you? And they like turn just a little bit over their shoulder and glance upward, up the stairs at Vic. Just for a half second. Haven't you?
I'll admit I've made some miscalculations on both sides of the field.
Heaven, what's the point of keeping your heart if you're never going to use it? I envy you. I have always envied you. Such control. But maybe it was wrong of me to do so. Maybe you're just as fucked up as I am.
Maybe so. But at least we're, I don't know, fucked up together. All
Fucked
of
up
us.
together. Descending into some kind of fucked up dark hotel that our parents that neither of us sort of remember built together, I guess.
For the course, I'm not really surprised by any of this anymore. I know we're still a little raw from not even a day ago, so I apologize if I hadn't emotions and whatnot.
Did you not just hear me? Heaven, I asked you to stop apologizing for having emotions.
Then I'm sorry for apologizing.
Well, stop apologizing. Do
I
something
think in this-
fucked up with your whole chest for once. And maybe we'll get out of here alive.
On that note, I believe Manny and the sister kind of come in and kind of go, fantastic. I'm not taking stairs. As you see, he shifts, turns it into an elevator. Much better. All right, everybody. Let's get to it then. See, walks in. Sister walks in. Everybody else walking in.
I do walk in, but Misfit, I think as we're walking in, will sidle over to Eden and say, was there something familiar about your father's magic there?
Very familiar.
I don't understand.
Neither do I. True.
And I think Misfit turns to look at his mother, who I think is the only other person that they can think of that might know what is going on. And I think Eden can see that Mrs. Gaze kind of lingers over their mother, and there is this calculation going on in their head of how much to ask and how much not to ask. And it's this hesitation, this war kind of going back and forth in their mind as we're standing in the elevator, I think side by side for once. For the first time in a long time, actually.
With that, the doors close, and you proceed to go into the depths of this hotel. And that is where we shall take a break before we go into our next scene. With that, everybody, make sure to use our buy meal, get yourself a snack, and we will be right back. See you soon. everyone, and welcome back to the second half of our lovely little episode here. With that, I think it's time for us to begin. With that, the elevator that you're in slowly descends, and you can see it's going towards one of the lights on the buttons that says ballroom, as it doot, 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 ding, pings. And as the doors slowly open, you see before you not only a beautiful ballroom, but you can feel once again it is another memory in which you all begin to fade away as something begins to play once more as this entity and your keeper takes you on another memory. To be specific, as it zooms here, the banners that are floating in the far back of the ballroom read, "Congratulations, it's twins." And it becomes clear that this event that is in this ballroom is some sort of baby shower. Before you are able to react, someone comes out the elevator in a hasty fashion, as it is James, who is currently trying to put on a tuxedo. He's walking down the hall, and he often leaves a trail of paperwork behind him that he constantly has to go back and pick up and go back and pick up. As he goes down the stairs, many of the guests that are already there partying greet him and give him a pat on the back as he smiles, waves, and thanks them for coming, as he tries his best to get to his wife-in-waiting, Esmeralda. We can see that Esmeralda is about maybe 6-7 months pregnant, as they are eating an ungodly number of fish and drink to sustain the life that is teeming within them. James takes a moment to himself in one of the back rooms to cool off the anxiety building within him, but he tries his best to try to finish off a tie, but is failing miserably. As he wallows in his despair, a finger soon taps on his shoulder as a finely dressed Naomi greets the face of the troubled father in need of aid. "Need help there, James? That would be greatly appreciated. I have a lot going on at the hotel, and with the kids on the way, you can say that I'm a bit busy of late. I can only imagine. When I had Alejandro, I had to learn balance quite quickly, lest I be overstressed with trying to change diapers." They proceed to do the tie. James goes, "So, can I ask you a question then?" "Shoot. How do you do it? I mean, how do you raise kids in this crazy life of ours with trying to, balance everything?" You see Naomi doing the tie. "It comes down to doing what is best for them. For me, it is protecting my son from the harsher realities of the world. He gives me shit from time to time for being strict, but in the end, I know he will be better off for it and the world I'm trying to make for him. But if you could leave the agency and start fresh, would you do it? I mean, leave everything you created behind." "Officially? No. Personally, it is true I have learned a lot from the agency on how to be an effective monster hunter. But it comes at the sacrifice of my family life. In the end, it's a decision that can't be made alone." Naomi finishes the tie, and pats off the dust and lint, making sure that he's presentable to his guest. "Thanks, Naomi. It's the least I can do for an old friend. Now go enjoy your dream." Before James is able to open the door to the lower entrance of the grand ballroom, and as Naomi leaves, a hand pulls in and pulls him specifically with a piece of paper in its hand. As the smoke and shadows begin to disappear, it becomes clear that the figure is none other than Manny, who is classily dressed up in the hotel's attire and doesn't have a hair misplaced.
James, where have you been? I needed these documents signed 30 minutes ago.
Manny! You nearly gave me a heart attack. I told you to wait till tomorrow and to enjoy the party.
I already told you my feelings on this pointless mortal ritual. If you haven't noticed, the hotel is overflowing with guests, especially the more dangerous one in the West Wing. If you don't account for this uptick in haste, then the hotel could be in big trouble.
Relax, Manny. Everything is under control. And my power hasn't waned from the influx either. Everything is fine. Now, what is it that you really want to tell me?
I think having these children is a mistake. From what I know, they are more often distractions rather than useful assets for which the hotel has no need or purpose. So why have them, James? What purpose will they serve you?
Well, Manny, that's the beauty of it. They don't have to serve a purpose. They can be whatever they want to be. Plus, they will make me and Eldermelder's world a little less lonely.
I don't understand. You have me. I'm always around and here to serve both of your needs. Is that not enough? Am I not completing my purpose properly?
Manny, it's hard to explain, but it's not the same. I made you, but these kids are something I made together with the person I love. And I won't let having a family get in the way of running the day-to-day.
I just think...
I want no more talk of this or any business tonight. Drop the paper off in my office and then come back down to celebrate with me, my friend. I think we both earned a little R&R.
Yes, James, I will get on it right away.
Good. And who knows? My kids may take over this place when I'm gone one day. Won't that be great?
Wouldn't that be great?
James proceeds to open the large, beautiful doors to the ballroom that lets in the light a little bit into the dark room that the two had found themselves in. But Manny still hides himself in the shadows as he looked towards the party in quiet. As James comes to greet Esmeralda, she looks over to see Manny in the shadows and raises a glass towards him in silent respect. But upon Manny's face is not of acceptance, but rejection, as his hand slowly clinches the paper in his hand before tossing it to the ground. As the memory proceeds to dissipate, and the vestige of the ballroom gives way to the absolute horror of what this beautiful place once was. As you can see, in particular, a number of corpses almost piled in categories. And I think in this instance, I will give you another key for these memories, so you're at 4 keys, if I'm not mistaken, Eden. Yes, it is at that time of the night that re-roll the ever-famous Unlock Doom's Door. Now, this mystery was a difficult... Yes, we're doing it now. You're doing it now?
I'm sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah, we have to switch. There we go.
Now?
Yes. As it is just, I will say it's just you all, as that sort of spirit disappears ever so slightly, as it's just only the 4 of you. But in this instance, the difficulty of this mystery is a 6, and you have 4 keys, which means whatever you're rolling is going to be a -2.
Hope you roll high.
Okay, hope I roll
Get
high.
12. Get
Not too
12.
high, though.
Not too high.
Get a 12.
I could get a 12.
Why do you want this?
Because -2.
Big moment here. Big
Oh,
moment.
right.
Big moment.
I rolled a 10.
Hey!
That's still good.
I
That's still
rolled a
good.
10.
That's still good.
10 minus 2 is 8. I rolled a 10. 5 and 5, baby. We were close.
Almost failed.
Woo!
Woo!
Just let you know, this is very difficult, and I think everyone succeeded so far, which really says a
What did I
lot.
tell
No
you?
pressure,
What did I tell you,
Heaven.
Misfit?
Pressure.
With that, you have
Woo.
tracked down Doom's Door, and you know exactly where it is, and how to unlock it. In addition, the Keeper will present an opportunity to protect what matters most, to take down the Harbinger, or otherwise drive back the apocalypse. With that, you go into this ballroom of hell, and you can see on the other side a golden elevator opens and comes to life, being the only source of color you have seen in quite some time, as that is the elevator to Doom's door. There is a problem. You know and get a feeling that in this place, if you walk in here, it's going to alert the horde in a sense, or the people are going to know where you are, as you're not protected by the glyphs anymore. But you have an opportunity to get to there, hopefully before they notice, if you really sprint for it. As you're kind of on the second floor of this ballroom, as it's like underneath and you're on the second floor. So I leave it to you.
Okay. I think as we arrive and we see that vision, right? Like we experience it.
Including Manny and Sister Luna.
Including Manny and Sister Luna. I think as we arrive, the first thing that Eden sees is the door, right? Like it's like the first thing that comes into view. And then the second thing is they pivot and they look at Manny again. Because they saw the venom. They saw the resentments. They saw that. They ask, is that why you want to leave?
Maybe. Not all memories of this place is happy, and let's just say I didn't like serving a purpose that he didn't really care about in the end.
He didn't really care about? You think he didn't really care about this place?
I think he cared more about you rather than this place once you were born.
Aren't we just extensions of this place? Really?
Not really. You're more additions, but we should stay focused. The last thing we need to do is talk and give whatever's out there more time to get here.
And what exactly is out there? You haven't been doing a very good job as assistant manager letting one of these rampant, angry souls overrunning this place.
Well, that wasn't my fault, now was it?
Wasn't it?
I didn't kill James. That was you. You killed the one thing that was holding this place together, and you let out the dangerous folks that we kept on the West Wing to go ballistic. And once he died, it's a fail-safe that stops anything from leaving in case a dangerous spirit tries to escape. So, you didn't just kill your father, you killed a bunch of other souls. But that's a whole, again, conversation I really don't think we should have right now.
No. When should we have it? When we release all of them and break my father's failsafe?
They're not gonna get out. The office is a door, alright? They can't get in. I know that for sure.
You better keep up then. And they pivot, look at Vic, Heaven, Misfit. We need to run really fast, faster than we ran before.
Lead the way.
Okay.
Fantastic. Anything else you were to say before you all run towards that direction?
I would like to look back at the group that is here, and I would like to... I assume Manny's going to come with us. And I look over to Sister Luna, and I walk up to her before we run through this door, and I say, Sister Luna, you clearly have a mission to serve. you were looking for Jax's soul, from what we've gathered. Well, it's not here, clearly. So, why don't you come with us?
Fine. It's not like I really had an option, but once I get topside, I'm sure that the Brotherhood will have more orders for me.
Or you could stay here.
I don't think that that's such a good idea.
Yeah, surely you're joking. Silence is unbecoming, vicious.
Well, the Brotherhood has never done anything good for us Mythics. In fact, the last time I remember, they came to jump us and fuck us over.
And Misfit looks at Vic with like wide eyes and like gritting their teeth. And some people are victims of the Brotherhood, and so let's just, we can talk about it when we get out, when we get topside, as Sister Luna said, right, Vic?
Indeed.
Sure.
And I think Misfit is like blinking very fast at Vic in to try and communicate.
Vic like sees you blinking really fast, but it's just so like focused, and it's like looks at you, looks at Sister Luna. Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool. Eden?
Are you done? And Eden is, I think, like now sweating as they are like pulling upward, and sand is like rising on these. They're trying to make like platforms of sand for us to run across, kind of like from the top floor in a sloped line down.
Fantastic. As you all slope down, you do hear the echoes of it, but there's enough time for you. As you get to the elevator, Eden goes through. Heaven, you go through. And immediately as Misfit tries, you immediately get a boop, a rejection. You see Manny kind of goes past you. He's able to enter in, and he goes, "Ooh, I thought this might happen."
It's the hard thing.
What's going on? And I think Misfit like pushes his hand up against the door, like trying to like get through it. What's going on?
Boom, boom. See, yeah, manager's office. Only blood relatives or anything of relation can
You
enter
said you
in.
weren't a blood relative. Why can you get through?
I don't know. Maybe because of his heart. I never really tried. I didn't know where the thing was to begin with, so I guess it's just a...
No, that doesn't make any sense. Why can you get through and we can't?
Because I'm him, technically, I guess. And you hear...
Can Vic go through?
Vic, you can't go through either. You see Sister Luna try to go through. You see the elevator is beginning to close.
Wait, can I see that they can't get through?
You're in the elevator. You can see that they can't get through.
Can I reach my hand back out?
Yeah, you can reach your hand back out, but it's almost like a sense of like a yellow barrier as you see kind of vroom, 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 vroom. You can enter in. They can't. They're not of your father's blood, so they can't go into the office.
Is the barrier made of like a certain construct? Is it just magic? Is it?
You don't know.
Okay.
It could be magic. It could be dreaming. You're at such a quick pace here, and the doors are closing. And you see Manny kind of... What are you going to...
I'm about to do something deeply feral.
Please.
I'm about to do something.
I'm also on the... Go.
Eden bites the inside of their cheek to draw blood, to draw their blood, to draw their lineage of blood. And they pull themselves halfway out of the elevator. And I think they grab Vic, who's right there, lick the side of her neck, right? Lick the side of her neck, try to pull her through. Does it work?
It's almost like it's getting, but then it pushes Vic back. As you notice, their heart piece is not. It seems to be connected to the heart. And they don't have any relation to the heart of James. As the door closes, as you get pushed back, you are all now separated.
Oh,
And you
no.
see Manny go, okay, don't freak out. Run, fight, whatever you do. We'll try to find a way to get you up. I think we can, manually pick out people from the hotel once we get up there because the ledger and whatnot, but you're going to have to defend yourselves while we'll deal with whatever's upstairs.
Vic, if you let him die, I'm going to fucking kill you. I will be
Oh
back
my
for you. I will be
God.
back for you both. I promise. I swear. True. And that's the last thing you hear is,
The elevator goes up, and three of you, Misfoot, Vic, and Sister Luna, as you see, they begin to mark their territory. I'm assuming you two know how to fight.
Yes,
Something like that.
Dad
Good.
taught me.
We're gonna do a little 300 here. Spartans, they don't make it past that door.
They don't make it past that door. You learned anything, Sister Luna, in all your time here? Anything useful?
Yes, they're definitely afraid of the light and fire. So,
Oh, thank God.
hopefully we're good. Except for the other two.
Huh?
There's some married couple that's in here that's very...
Oh, boo.
Don't tell me they're weirdly in love and love to talk at each other as if the rest of us aren't here.
Yeah, as you hear...
Just
They begin to... You can hear, oh, little piggies, please open up. We're coming in.
Okay. Vic,
I have a plan, but it's a bad one.
love a bad plan.
Okay. I'm assuming it's seen staying on us, so I would like to use a move that I recently got.
Ooh.
And then God, what is it called? Holy Symbol Arsenal.
Fantastic.
So when you dampen, oh God, I was just reading it. So when you dampen your powers of darkness in order to use Holy Symbol Arsenal, tell the keeper how much you open yourself to the divine energies of the arsenal on a scale of 1 to 3. I'll do it 2. You know what? No, 3. Nuclear.
Okay.
The nuclear.
All right,
option.
which is biggest option. Got it.
Roll and add your divinity. Please, God. Above. Please, Trauma Man, love.
Not my decision.
Oh, thank God. 8.
Okay. Just by the skin of our teeth today.
I rolled a 4 and a 1. So thank God
Ooh.
I used all 3.
Fantastic. So what happens here?
So on an 8 to 10, the darkness and energies synchronize to activate the hymn of righteousness. Choose a number of actions equal to your divinity, to your divine vulnerability. In addition, gain 1 bond with the divine energy that aids you. I know I already lost 1. I pick 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I get to bind a target or create an area of divine protection. It will hold for now.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I think there's a moment where Vic has been rolling up her sleeves a lot today. I think she's just in a short sleeve shirt. And there's a moment where Vic says, Misfit, I'm going to need you not to say a goddamn word about this. And the mouths all over Vic's arms open up, but differently than usual. Instead of like that sickly, monstrous nature, they open up almost like church choruses singing, and you hear Sister Tula would probably catch this immediately as well. These mouths, they sing hymns, they sing gospels, and as these words are being sung from the mouths out of Vic's arms, words literally begin to form out of the mouths, almost creating a bubble around us, and just kind of like, and you just continually hear these church bells blocking all of the monsters and keeping us safe.
With that, as you protect that circle, you see it burst open as all these creatures come in like rats. Hundreds upon hundreds as they surround you. You see they try to get in, and you can see sort of the bigger of the couple. Well, looks like we have a little magic. Good thing we bought backup. As you see on the balcony, just hanging there, waiting, you see Fatima. You see Elijah, formerly known as Demise. And you see Radu sitting there. As we cut to the elevator. You get upstairs to what is this manager's place. You can see it is a relatively okay space. It's relatively unaffected except for the back portion of it that seems to have exploded with these pieces of bark, wood, and whatnot floating ever so slowly as you see the source of the corruption that was in the lens of metal is here as it seeps from a towering being with two red eyes and a storm afloat. You see sitting in the office chair, almost like if it was a throne, Edie, sitting, waiting, and with no emotion on their face, watching as you all get off. It's about time.
Eden had been frantic in the elevator. I think like they had grabbed Manny by like the lapels, right? And was like, you said something about a ledger. We need to go get them. We need to get them as fast as we fucking can. What did you say about the ledger? But like as we come up, right, and that we are encountering this storm, I think it like kind of dies away, right? And they like hold on for 1 second and then push Manny back a little bit, like just let go. And turn toward Edie, finally. And they take a few steps out of the elevator. It is about time, I think. We have unsettled business. We've had unsettled business for a very, very long time, you and I.
Quite. I know you have a lot of questions, and I can feel, as you see there, almost like mind aching, that hatred you have for me. As you are speaking, Eden, Heaven, what are you doing? Are you positioning yourself? Are you just standing back?
They're standing back for now, but once whatever sets off, they're gonna start looking for that ledger.
Fantastic. Looking for the ledger. You see Manny kind of goes on the side. He kind of gives you a nod of he's going to keep look as well. Can you roll 2d6 for me real quick?
No.
No? Okay. Come on. Come on. Get, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh boy. Let's see. Big money, no whammies. That's an 8.
An 8. You get a glimpse of it in the corner. You see it is near Edie, kind of behind them as they're kind of protecting it. As they continue to speak with Eden. I do have a question for you before you do your usual antics of throwing fist and magic to punch the problems away.
Yeah, well, you destroy your problems for long enough, you just get bigger ones. What's your question?
You ever wonder how Tyr found Mom and Dad?
Tyr didn't find Mom and Dad. Tyr found me.
How did he know where you were? He didn't know you were even existed before. Mom and Dad were on holiday.
Of course I wondered. Wondered for a long time. Spent a long time trying to bring Tyr back so I could ask him myself. Do you have the answer to that question?
I do. I very much do. As you see, they turn their head over to Manny. Whoa. Okay, are we really gonna trust this thing?
This thing is my heart. And if they're telling me what I think they're telling me, then you've been fucking me over longer than I thought, and you are already on the fucking chopping block.
Look, I think they are trying to divide you. I really don't think they know what's going on. Why would
My father was using Tyr's magic. Why? How?
Your father doesn't use Tyr magic. Your father uses shadow magic and whatnot. I mean, yes, you learn a couple of things from Tyr, but for the most part, I had a little bit of a falling out, but I don't know. What are we trying to get at here? Again, enemy.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything, all right? Like, let's just get the ledger.
What did you do?
You see the facade of this charlatan of a man slowly fade as its very Gustavo Fring of smiles to that of seriousness. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out earlier on.
Somebody stole my fucking journal. What was I supposed to do?
Thank God for that. It made it much easier to lie to you. But, we'll see. To make a long story short, dear old dad wanted to shut down the hotel. He wanted to shut down the one thing I dedicated my life to, and guess who he wanted to do it for? His 2 fucking kids. Huh? His little mistakes. I told Tyr where to find dear old dad and gave him the instructions for him to kill the parents. He just decided to give it to you instead of him pulling the trigger. I love his work, much more traumatizing that way.
So it was you. So it was you. I'll give you a few seconds. Enough time for your last words. Do you have any?
I do. Thanks. You see, he uses his magic to force the book out of his hand. Unless, Heaven, do you want to do something in this instance as he's about to grab the book?
Absolutely. We're gonna reiterate my powers. Weapons of light and sound. They've been quiet for so long, and they're finally feeling what Eden feels, or at least a sliver of what they feel. And I would just not earth shattering, because we're not even on Earth, but like this just screech of sound to either disrupt him or rupture something, or at least push the book back farther.
Fantastic. I believe that's just going to be Unleash the Dark, if you'd be so kind.
I'm going to spend 2 darkness tokens.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Not the champion. No, you better succeed. You better not miss. Is it a good or bad?
That's a 13.
The 13?
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
The overshoot is good?
It's better than missing.
For me. You choose one from above, but it goes beyond the intended consequences. So I will let you choose. You got get past fences, inflict a condition, get what you want from them, avoid appraisal, get the upper hand, expose a weakness, confuse them. All up to you, but whatever's going to happen is going to have an unintended consequence.
Okay, I'm going to go with confuse them for some time.
Okay. With that, you are using your light and sound to... But in the instance, you haven't really been able to push yourself. And as you let go, it gets a little bit too much as you accidentally hit Edie and the book goes flying near him. As he's able to grab it, even though still confused. And you start to notice the pages begin to... before he disappears. You slowly see the figure with the red eyes made of the storm begin to form as a hand. It is approximately the size of a skyscraper. Bigger than all of you, as you see it slowly form into Manny before he gives just that echoing and bellow. Idiots! The power of the hotel is at my will and command. Look at you, the children of James West and that bastard of a mother. The only regret I have is I didn't get to see them die from the own hands of their children. But at least I get to revel in killing them. As you three, you see Edie kind of looks at you, putting aside all their differences, looks like we're gonna have to work together. So, any idea how to kill it?
So I took this move. Let me start. Let me start there. So I took this move. It's a ruin move. It's called Crowned by Dream, Exalted by Nightmare. I have learned how to harness dreams and create great and terrible weapons from them. When I turn dreams into a dangerous weapon, I mark ruin and choose one. And I would like to create a weapon of pure nightmare, the fourth and final option. It has a will and mind of its own. It creates itself. It is powerful, unstoppable. It is exactly what you need. It only honors your command for a time. As I think, splitting outward from Eden is, do we remember from season 1, the first time Eden died? This be not afraid angelic figure kind of just like peels itself out of like the back of Eden's head. Like it unfolds out of them, like a shadow rising up behind them, just as big as Manny is, like scaling upward and upward and upward, covered in wings all over their body, like literally made of starlight, with many wings like layered over its face and one huge jagged mouth. As it just, made of sand, collects upward and out of Eden. I think we let go. I think we let go and we fight like we've never fucking fought before.
And I think in this instance, you begin to hear the wind chime again, as that entity comes back into the fold, presenting itself to you, as I leave it for them to describe themselves in this instance. You're muted. Oh, never mind. Go.
What you just described, see above table, is really freaking cool. And if I may piggyback off of that, I think just like in the very beginning, time seems to slow down. The world around you darkens, and it's just you, this being that you've summoned. And you hear the wind chimes again, as glowing from within this angelic figure's chest, the little pepperings of light once again. And they float down towards you, hovering, kind of circling around each other right in front of you. And you hear the voice again, this time made of thousands of whispers, as if sand in an hourglass could speak. Eden, it's so quiet up here. I remember everything. So, I give of myself to you, one last gift. I know you'll know what to do. The sound of wind chimes grows louder, a cacophony of sound until it all blends into a high-pitched ringing. You watch as these lights fold in on itself, gathering into a glowing sphere floating in front of you. You feel the heat emanating off of it as this light folds smaller and smaller and smaller. You reach out with a hand, it settles into your palm and becomes a tangible weight. Cold now, metal. You grasp it. It's a shot shell. Ammunition. Glowing in the palm of your hand that is grasped around it. And whispered on the wind, fading quickly, you hear, with this, allow memories and grudges long held to crumble. We rejoin the stars. Be free. I'll see you again someday. And the light held betwixt your fist fades away.
With that leaving only the vestige they leave behind as they disappear from frame.
Eden turns to Heaven, just like slightly, smallest quirk of their head. I came back the first time because I thought that if I killed Naomi, I would feel better. I stayed because I thought that if I fixed all my mistakes, I would feel better. I don't think this is going to make me feel better. But I do think I need to do it anyway.
And by all means, it's your shot.
It's our shot. And I think Eden, like, pulls on the bullet and, like, almost, like, palms it like a magic trick. It, like, turns to sand for half a moment, and, like, I think suddenly there are two. And they hand one to Heaven.
And they take it with 2 fingers and a smile, appraising it.
Did you know that you can stab people with these? And sometimes it hurts just as much.
You know, I might need a demonstration if that's the case.
Carry me up there with your wings. And they, like, look up at where this thing's, like, stormy eyes are, right? Wherever, like, Manny has gone. And I will give you a demonstration up close.
I love the way you think.
You see Edie go, I'll give you cover. As they go around, as you hear Manny go, I am the man in the mirror, and you are pointless beings. Take your best. As you see smoke coming out, we cut downstairs as you are currently in a circle at the moment. As you see the rest of the a-holes are upstairs looking down, you see sort of the conjoined couple kind of go, well, we're waiting. Deal with them.
And I think Misfit sees all of this, sees the Frankenstein monster of a couple, the a-holes around, and sees Vic's emanation around us. And Misfit clocks the form of the magic that Vicious is currently using, but was told to not say anything about it and realizes there are more pressing matters right now, and so it's just going to tuck that into the back of their mind for a second. But notices it, but recognizes that we are perhaps a little bit out of our element right now, that this is not a place that we are familiar with. These are not monsters that we are familiar with, and there's too many of them and there's not enough of us. And so I think Misfit turns like a small child asking their parent for help with a task that they know is beyond them towards his mother, to his sister Luna. and is going to, I think, pull out the necklace that they're wearing and tear it off of their neck and hold it out to Sister Luna, and is going to say, Mom, I know you're in there. Okay, I know that you're in there, and right now, what I really need is, I don't have my magic. I lost it. So I need yours, right now. You know this place better than we do. Vic's aura isn't going to hold for very long. So what do we need to do? And what I am doing is I am using the Prodigal Child Will Return, one of my moves. It is a ruin move that says your true parent or creator has reconnected with you and they bear great power. When you ask your true parent or creator for help, they will do as you ask if you give them the love they crave from you. Tell them what you need, and the keeper will describe what form of loyalty or affection they require in return, and then I choose one. So tell me what my mother requires in return.
This is wild.
This is very wild. I feel like they're still confused. You see, it's like, I'm not your, and they kind of look at the necklace that kind of begins to echo in their mind. I think it is a hard one, but a simple one. They need the mask off of their face gone, but you do know it is of celestial armor and kind, which means it's gonna hurt taking it off. But if you take it off, they may come back to you. It's gonna hurt, though.
Okay. I will choose the second option, and I'll explain why it's the second option. I'm going to mark 2 ruin, and the harbinger within me awakens, and I force my parent to do what I want while hardening my heart. Describe how they are proud of the harbinger I am becoming. And I think the reason that it counts as this is because I am fighting against Tuli's, she's not Sister Luna, Tuli's brainwashing, programming, whatever it is that the Brotherhood did to her. I'm fighting against that, fighting against her instincts in this moment. And I think in order to do so, I have to harden my own heart. I have to let go of the fact that I am about to hurt my own mother, who up until now has shown me nothing but love and care, as far as I'm aware. The only person who has never hurt me in my life, and I need to hurt them right now in this moment. And so I think Misfoot goes up towards Tuli, will reach up with both of his hands towards this mask. He's going to, I think, like grasp around it. We'll look up and say, I'm sorry, Mom. And I can't wait to meet you. And is going to pull as hard as they possibly can on this mask right off of her face.
It's like touching hot metal straight out of a forge as it burns deep into your skin. I'm talking first, second, goes to third, into the flesh of your bone as you take it off, as it is almost like a searing light. Before you're able to toss it off to the side, you see it hits a couple of these guests that begin to just immediately evaporate as the mere touch of the holy metal just kills them before it rolls on the ground. And you see before you a similar figure of one of the triplets of Naomi, as you see their hair is short, their eyes are tired, and their skin, which is usually brown, is a little bit paler due to having that helmet on for the longest time. But as they do, you see the same eyes you've looked in the mirror every day, as your eyes are from your mother's. As you can see them staring at you back in realization before the necklace goes deep into their chest and begins to take off the armor, as you see their skin begin to glow bluish green metallic structure as swords begin to go around. As that's going on, you see the two couples. Can you do it now? I think Radu gives you a look and kind of looks over to them. We weren't here for you. We're here for Edie, and Edie wants this place gone. So for now, we're working with these Mythics. As you see, Radu jumps for a second as his voice is weird, but then changes back. I guess maybe your hands are still getting oriented, but you see he jumps down and immediately, like a dragon, begins to just flame around the area as the other two begin to go off to the side and try to support. With that, they provide you enough cover and time as these creatures now disperse to wherever they go through. Vic, what are you doing in this instance as your shield's about to go down here?
Yeah, I'm assuming a lot of these monsters are being taken care of.
Yeah, it's a free-for-all right now, but once this thing goes down, these creatures are gonna jump you. It's almost like a very much horde mentality of
No,
like
100%,
they're
yeah.
built like paper, but there's enough of them that they will hurt.
Yeah, I personally don't want to get hurt at all if I can avoid that. Oh God, what's this move? No. Vic is going to. I think I wanna blow up the shield. Not like at us, but like outwards so that it like clears the field a little bit. Because Vic is explicitly like not eating things here because they're like, this is like Eden's thing. So I don't know, whichever heart darkness move you want.
I'll give you to either you unleash the dark and you take out most of the minions, or if you want to get chancy with it, you can power through darkness to try to ult and try to clear pretty much everything. So I'll leave it up to you.
Oh,
Power
God.
through darkness, power through darkness, power through
Darkness.
darkness.
All right, you chose this. Just remember.
I know. You know what? If Misfit dies, so be it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry? Hello? What are
You're
you
weak to
talking
holy
about?
magic. That's like Pokemon rules.
It's fine. Maybe they
I
cancel
do
each
need-
other out.
I do need to get rid of some darkness tokens, so I'm gonna burn too.
Oh, please do. Oh, not the math. Not the math.
Math is so hard. 8.
8. Oh my God! You
I'm
just
really bad at
lucky
math.
bastards
really bad at
today. With that, you use your powers.
Oh wait,
with
I
great.
get 9 actually.
It's still you're still
Yeah.
good. You're lucky. You're still good. You use your powers with great precision and effect, changing the situation before you. Additionally, the keeper may offer you reprieve, a golden opportunity, or bond with someone. I'll say you can get this done, but I feel like this might be an opportunity to form a bond with Misfoot.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like it's a good time.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's really funny that we don't have a bond yet.
Look, we've been like passing by
We
each other this
do
whole time.
Now.
That's so funny. Yeah, and I think there's a moment where Vic has been holding this barrier like against the hordes this whole time to give you this time to do this. And while you're like, oh, like saying a bunch of things like mom, I think Vic has been like, mom. Oh my God, that's why. Oh, whew, I just thought you were being weird. Yeah, and I think there's a moment where where the tattoos begin to invert, like show up on Misfit's body in the same way that Eden's do. And that's the moment where like it probably fully clicks, like no questions asked. And I say, look, bud, we don't talk a lot and we've got a lot to talk about, but we all love the same people, and I'm not letting you fall here.
As it's almost like a wave back, it pretty much incinerates everything, especially the two individuals as they begin to run down the hall in the opposite direction out of fear. As you manage to kind of avoid a major fight here, as you clear the area that smells like just burning corpse, which leaves only you and the 3 other a-holes here. But with that, we jump back upstairs as this was resolved. flying together at the moment, this wind thunderous, rocks moving around, this large figure of Manny. You see Edie is on the ground screaming as you see this sort of waves hitting it, not really doing much but more distracting him as he just moves his hand and either shadows come in their direction or actual earth begins to and try to smash them. In this instance, what are you two doing as he is slightly distracted by this here?
Eden is biding their time, waiting for heaven to get them close.
Absolutely. They're flying like strategic, those giant owl-like tawny wings just pushing their hardest.
Yeah. Also, I'll give you the same choice here. Either Unleash the Dark is kind of your standard movement here, if you can get close, or you can Power Through the Darkness, which is kind of you really pushing it, and you can get pretty close to where maybe a weakness or heart, eyes, wherever the weakness point is, you can get pretty close to that. So I'll leave it up to you how you want to move here.
Oh, the eyes, please.
Please, fantastic. So that's going to be a Power Through the Darkness because you not only do you have to move, you will have to go into this storm itself, which is hurricane-like winds, almost very fast speed, and plus debris, shadowy beings, souls are inside. So roll Power Through Darkness for me, please.
Okay, I want to spend 1 token this time.
All right.
That's a 6.
It's a 6.
Mm-hmm.
The Keeper will offer you something connected to what the darkness demands of you. Whether or not you take it, prepare for the worst. Now, for you, Heaven, if I'm not mistaken, your darkness, remind me of what that is for me.
My demands are to make my fellow monsters my worshippers, to curse the one I love.
Fantastic. I think as you're going through this, you can see a spot which would be prime to take this thing out. No shot. Problem is, once you get there, you will be pushed back and you will no longer be able to help Eden at all. It will be all on them from that point forward. Just be them. Which may kill them if this is an explosion type deal. They may be in an area and you don't know, especially where you are in the circumstances of this realm of dreaming or dead, if they will actually die here. So there's a way to get to where you want, but you won't be able to help after that point on.
I think he's going to go through with it, and they're going to maneuver in a way that pushes their duplicated bullet into Eden's hands. Do this for the both of us. It's not your rage this time, it's our rage.
Love you.
I love you too.
With that, you get into the deep of this. It's loud. There's sand, coarse, that's almost cutting your skin as you get dropped off near, as you can see in that eye region, the heart of Manny. And as you're kind of having to push yourself through, you can hear his voice echoing as he foments pictures with the sands around, almost intimidating or taunting you when he kind of goes, "Oh, little Eden, you think you can win. It's beautiful to see, but will you? How many people have you killed? You see Jax dying. You see all the men you murdered when you lost control. You see every moment, and especially painful, you killing your parents. When will you realize I saw your potential from day one? I saw a mistake. I saw a fuck up. I saw someone who will never be loved. who will never succeed, and someone who will always be a disappointment in dear old Dad's eye. As you see, he formats a picture of the various figures in your life that you have had some respect for, looking at you in shame, pointing, tossing you aside as the sand hits, cutting you. What are you doing in this instance?
I think as the sand like comes and hits Eden, they get hit with it, and they're a small. I can't tell you enough times, Christopher. They're a small little rat guy. They like get pummeled, I think, and they like hit the ground, I think, and roll a little bit, and they're there like on the ground, propped up on their elbows, I think, and slowly they just start pulling themselves up again. And like maybe the second they stand, they get hit with like another blast of sand, right? They go flying backward again, right? And they just stay down on the ground for 1 second before they start to pull themselves up again. And eventually I think there's this like choked laugh, right? Like a You think that hurts? You think you're telling me anything I don't tell myself every single day? The only reason I fucking found you in the mirror is because I made you. I put you there myself. All of the hatred that you have for me, I have for myself tenfold. You think that you can hurt me? No. The only person that can hurt me is me. And I'm tired of that. Fucking tired of it. I am my mother's daughter, and I am my father's son, and I am the child of God, and I am tired of failing. I want now. And you are never gonna fucking stop me. I don't care how many times we have to do this. It's sad, you know? I pity you. I really do. Because you hate yourself so much more than you hate me. Because for all of that bullshit, how much you think my father hated me, how I did kill them, but you didn't, did you? He still chose me. He still chose heaven. He still chose us. So everything that you think I am, you think that you're lower, don't you?
Who do you think you are? As you are within distance, as you can just attack this thing with whatever weapons of light as you have in your hand, as you see he formates in the sand. Who do you think you are?
And like one hand, the shotgun is in their hand before they know they've made it. The bullets are loaded before their finger moves. And they just, one hand up, raise, pointing. My name is Eden. And I am a mythic. And I killed my father. Twice. And they shoot.
No! It's almost like glass hitting glass. As you get blasted off to the side, you just hear before light comes seeping out of every as your father, in both body and heart, is forever and truly gone. As you land, luckily, with the sand acting as a little bit of a bed, you start to notice the hotel begin to almost like the Titanic tipping over as it begins to break in every crevice and part, as that was the last anchor point for this thing. But you also notice, and all of you specifically, doors begin to open. Various points, you see spirits taking their chance. Everything is escaping in this moment. Are we saying anything or doing anything before we leave?
Eden's
Actually,
flat
what-
on their ass.
Well,
No,
I
go
will
ahead.
I'm gonna let everybody do their chance. I'm gonna let Eden. You're gonna be last for a very specific reason, but for the rest of my people here, I'll go one by one. Kind of a last is kind of scene before you escape out here. I'll start off with, I'll do Heaven first, as you are kind of on the other side of this, very far from Eden, but you do notice that there's a door next to them for them to escape through, and there's also a door near you to escape through, so you think it's relatively fine. But what are you doing in this instance, in this last scene of yours?
Listen, I'm waiting. There's no way I'm gonna go through a door and not see my brother. So it's gonna wait.
Fantastic, you wait. Misfit, what are you doing as you see your mother almost in their ethereal alien-like form look at you, tear down their face, but also kind of, we have to leave. What are you doing in this instance?
Misfit holds out a badly burned hand towards their mother for her to take. And I will ask you, Chris, what is the yeah, I'm taking the GM seat.
Okay.
What is the small power that Misfit gets from my having used my last move? What is the small bit of magic, alien, whatever that my mother gives me as our hands touch?
I think as your hands touch, you start to notice something that has been gone for quite some time. As you see flame begin to open on your palm, as your demonic side begins to form back more. As whatever was this celestial fighting on the inside, whatever block that you had seems to have slowly be unraveled, as the fire doesn't hurt anymore, and you can feel it slowly begin to heal, and you swear, and just swear, you start to feel something almost on the top of your head kind of beginning to protrude, but it's just a feeling.
One detail, though, I think, is that for all of the ways in which Misfit's form is going back to the way it was before, I think one thing doesn't change, and that's his eyes. I think his eyes remain the same, a mirror of their mother's. And I think the last shot we see of Misfit before we run through a door to exit is the two of them hand in hand, mother and child, like they were supposed to be.
With that, you jump out the end. What about you, Vic? What are you doing? As you see the two of them manage to get through a doorway, you're here. You do hear Vicious kind of in the back of your mind, just almost like a pet at this point, kind of like waiting silently at your side.
I think Vic takes a moment to look up at the a-holes to see Radu, who probably is no longer a dragon, Demise, well, I forget Demise's literal name. Is it just those two? Am I missing
And
one?
Fatima is the other one.
Fatima, there we go.
Mm.
I think Vic just kind of waves to them, kind of like a friendly neighbor. Just says, thanks, a-holes. Elijah, let's talk or something. Maybe get some dinner.
You hear, this was just pleasantries. We were just helping Edie. Next time we see each other, you're dead.
Yeah. I didn't kill you last time, and I'm not going to kill you next time. Radu is not trying to kill us, and Fatima, well, we'll see. When you stop being hateful, I'll see you. And I think Vic just like it walks backwards into the portal.
Fantastic. And I think before Heaven, because you're kind of waiting, you do notice Edie helps Eden up. As Eden, you said you were kind of flat on your back. You see they help you up as it is almost like a mirror reflection, even though Edie's a little bit more feminine in the way they present themselves. You see that they looking like in a mirror as the camera kind of looks at you two side to side. Well, you did it.
I did.
You know, I was angry at you for casting me out. I tried to forget you, but I couldn't.
I know the feeling. I tried to live without you. And it will never be the same as the years that I had you. Are you happy?
I don't know. Happiness isn't a thing we are accustomed to.
No, it's not. If not happy, then could you live?
I could be with you again, but under one condition.
Go ahead.
They have to go. As you see, they point towards Heaven. They're the last thing standing between your happiness, us being together. They're the reason why I was cast out. That's something I'm not letting go. I helped you take care of Manny because they did us wrong, but Heaven is that last obstacle in our way, and they need to go.
Eden smiles gently, and I think reaches out and like puts a hand on Edie's shoulder. You know I can't let that happen, right?
You see there is a tear on their face. I know. I just thought I could try. I thought maybe after doing all this, showing that I still care about you, making sure this place was here and helping guide you to get revenge would change things, but it won't with you. And that means I'll have to take things into my own hands.
So
As they start to walk away from you towards a portal before they kind of stop for a moment. Bye, Eden. Know next time that I see you, Heaven dies.
I know. I'll see you then.
As they go through, is there anything that you would like to do in your last moment here? As you see Heaven's waiting for you on the other side.
I think Eden looks across the way at Heaven, having had that conversation, I think in low tones, probably too low for them to hear. But they look. And there's a sense of loss on their face, I think. But it's not cracked with the same kind of chisel as it has been in the past. There's no, like, rivulet of tears. There's no black hole of suffering. There's a sparkle of memory, I think, that comes flooding into them. This sound of wind chimes, the sand. And they could never regret the choice they made. Never once. And I think the resolve is there. And even now they still don't regret it, having made the same choice. They just nod once. And turn. Taking the door handle, I think, at the same moment that you do, as they kind of turn away from each other, I imagine. And they go through the door. Having
Evan,
lost
do
their
you-
heart a second time. A
do
third,
you-
fourth, fifth, who knows?
Indeed. Heaven, is there anything now that your siblings going through, anything else you would like to add before we end this episode?
I just take note of Edie leaving again. Heaven remembers. I always remember.
Fantastic. As you all depart this place, your home, your childhood, all evaporates in an instant, leaving nothing but the void of the astral sea and ruins of a hotel. And for our last scene, we find ourselves back in the material plane. A gas stop somewhere, and in between two trucks, late at night, a ball of lightning spits out someone as they hit into one of the nearby ice machines. As they kind of get up. Oh, that sucked. Oh. You see that he puts his wrist up and begins to tap. All right, what year is it? All right, 1987. Good. And then, where's the commander? Fantastic. Great. As you see, he taps his chest. All right, let's go fix the future. And that is where we shall end it for today. Yay!
That's fucked, Chris.
Not
That's
a-
fucked.
Who's coming
That's
from
fucked.
the past? What?
Hey,
The future.
that's fucked.
No, the future.
future.
They're coming from. That was in like the first
Oh.
episode. Fatima's from
Oh.
the future.
Wasn't Fatima, somebody else. But
No, I remember, but I remember.
yeah, for the
saying
future. Yeah.
Fatima.
There you go. Hey, you remember. With that, thank you everybody for joining this lovely episode of the Mythic Initiative. With that, we hope you had a great time, and we're gonna do reverse order here in terms of plugs and who are you? Starting off with CJ. Take us away.
Hello, howdy, folks. Hey, howdy, hi, hello. It's CJ again, back. Never really left. If you like what I do, hold on, because I see the thing because we have color again on the screen. We're just gonna be normal. Nope, there we go. Hi, look, it's me. I'm back. I'm in color. It's CJ. Do you love me? Did you miss me? I didn't go anywhere. If you like what I do, then you'll love everything else I do. Find me on Twitter at Scholastic Dragon. Find me everywhere at Scholastic Dragon. Send me an email. Send me a love letter. Give me money. All of the above. Anyway, I am going to do reverse order and pass it to, I think it was Hamna.
It was indeed. Hello, hi. Oh my god, I'm in color again. How did that happen? Hello, everybody. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me all over the internet at Lilith TTRPG. And today I was Misfit, who has a mom now, which is exciting, and also is a demon again. So I think today, pretty good day for Misfit. It's a pretty good day. I would say this one is a win in the books. In terms of projects that are coming up, the Nameless Showdown Pokemon Tournament has officially been announced, and we have been announcing our trainers for that tournament slowly on Twitter. So please go follow Nameless Domain over on Twitter. We are going to be doing the first round of the tournament November 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And there is a narrative being developed by the characters. There's like a capitalist faction it's like a whole thing. CJ also is going to be in the tournament, returning as to defend their title as champion. We are raising money for charity for two very wonderful mutual aid groups that do work for trans people of color. So come on in, join us. We're going to be doing giveaways for donors and whatnot, and it's just going to be a really silly, wacky time. So yeah, follow Nameless Domain for that. And with that, I'm going to pass things over to Vin.
Oh my gosh, hi guys. If you enjoy what I do, go get some help. Go find it. Please. There's something wrong here. You need to go. I'm joking. Hi guys, again, I'm Vin at VinVoxVA on Twitter. If you want to see me be serious, I'm a voice actor. Can you believe that? Vinvox.com. You got my resume, my studio specs, my demo reels, and like contact information. That would be very nice. I have something coming up in a couple weeks that I can't announce yet, but when they announce it, I'll announce it. So just check my Twitter, and that'll be great. And I'm gonna throw it over to, oh my gosh, is that Best Vampire Player? No, woo, that's crazy. What a guest.
Ew. One thing before I go. Now, you are free. I'm free. I'm free. And yet, the quiet returns. I will be waiting for you, always. A reflection of you, nothing more. An echo, a flickering candlelight, nothing less. Hi everyone, my name is Jay, or Nala. I will not be turning my black and white filter off because I look horrid right now. All the things I do for my makeup. If you want to see what I look like in color, you should check out my TikTok at Nala Draws. I am an art director and illustrator who works full-time in TTRPGs. Fun fact, I'm actually art directing for the Apocalypse Keys stretch goal expansion book. And so that is gonna come out at some point. I don't know what's happening with that timeline-wise, but the art is being worked on and it is so cool. This fun fact, Chris, is the very first game of Apocalypse Keys I ever played. So thank you for being my first for this. That's so cool. And this game is so cool, and the way that you run this is immaculate. You four, what the hell? I love this. Anyways, I draw things, I do art direction stuff. Besides that, I do a little bit of voice acting, sensitivity consulting, and actual play stream performance. Follow me wherever I may be to find out what I'm doing next. The site formerly known as Twitter is dying like the Titanic. I two references to that ship in this episode. But I'm on all the places at Nala Draws. That's pretty much me, I think. Do I have to say anything else? I think that's it. So I'm gonna throw to C.
Howdy, howdy. Why was I like the least prepared to transition to my own? Haha, there's a joke there. Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at CPlaysRPG. If you liked what I did here tonight, I feel like you're safe this time, but like barely, because we got some growth here. We got some vengeance as a tool and not the end goal, which is kind of gay. If you liked, yeah, thanks for being here. I'm tired. Wow. But you can always find me on Saturdays producing over on Transplanar RPG. You know it, you love it, I hope. But we're coming back this Saturday at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time with the final 4 episodes of Arc 1. Yikes. It's gonna hurt really bad. But you know what's not gonna hurt is seeing the brand new guest NPC who will be joining us starting on Saturday. So if you're curious, go check out the art. Go check out the new teaser. Come see who's coming into the Wild Sea to play the one, the only Princess Hylian Amerjin, Scion of Soul. I feel like that's all I've got. I gave you my heart, Chris. That's now it's all you.
Fantastic. And then there was one. Hello, everyone. My name is Chris, and I was your keeper for these preceding evenings. With that, you can find me also on that sinking ship known as Twitter at VO_Cologne. That's COLON. I'm working on stuff for December and beyond as well, but in terms of immediate, I do a little thing over on my Twitter since it's Hispanic Heritage Month. It is our last week, so, it's a bunch of people. Go retweet, go like, keep supporting, even though you should be supporting all year round, but, given the month, a little extra support is nice, and you can catch all of the last posts I'll do for the month. But beyond that, thank you for staying with us, and we hope you enjoyed your stay at Hotel Eternity. We can't wait to see you back on the mortal plane next week, but until then, have a lovely night, everyone. Bye-bye.